What's up, Dub Nation? Wow, it's pretty early right now, and we are here on a Sunday, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Let's throw up the back screen. I wanted to go live right now because we've got 10 more minutes until the draft lottery. Of course, they won't announce the 14th pick, which is 96.6% chance the Warriors, which will then convey to Portland. Unfortunately, we will not do that for another probably 15 minutes. And then after that, we're going to just ease on into the Knicks Pacers game. And that at least you've joined us here rather than listen to no disrespect, because if I were hired by ESPN, I would just focus on entertainment as well. They are forced to talk about meaningless things like Jason Tatum's expectations and really non-factual, informational things like that. That's just entertainment, my friends. And hang on one second. Oh, there's my had a really early green tea frap here. But anyways, of course, here's Amy with a comment from many hours ago. Appreciate you just chiming in. And someone else new, Sabaya, whatever that means. All right. So let me fix the description to say that the game is on ABC and the draft lottery. This event is being broadcast is on ABC, national TV. And if you need a stream, ask someone in the comments. All right, so who are we? What are we doing here? We are Let's Go Warriors. We are like the old sitcom, probably some of you have never heard of it. The old sitcom Cheers, where everybody knows your name. So people like, actually, I don't know who Sabayat is, but everybody knows Amy. Amy, good to have you. Everybody knows Daniel Barry. Good to have you guys on here. I think we probably got a lot of new people. 37 concurrence is rather large for before noon live stream that has no Warriors games or things really happening. But I guess you could call this a Warriors event. We've got Anthony Tsai. Let me he sent me a photo because there's not much you can do out there despite having a credential out there in Chicago. Oh, we got it. So get this. We have Anthony Tsai. Anthony Tsai is, well, he's one of you guys, a guy that I met in the comments, a loyal follower like some of you. And, just one thing leads to another, just like my co-host, Dean. And that reminds me, I got to send Dean the StreamYard. My bad. Little not as prepared as usual on this because it's such an early tip-off. It is an early tip-off, 12:30. I tell you what, I'm still not adjusted to regular life because I'm on the NBA schedule. I think I've told you the story of Gilbert Arenas, my guy Christopher Chen, Used to know he works for NBA Entertainment. He doesn't answer my texts anymore. He's a big shot. Lives on the same block or possibly right next to Brett Ratner and what's her name? Brett Ratner. Who's married to Brett Ratner? God, I can't remember her name. I'm supposed to remember her name and not him. Let's look it up. Who is married to Brett Ratner? How can I forget her name? Oh my God, dude. Brett Ratner and maybe it's not Brett Ratner. Shit. Who was Invisible Girl in Fantastic Four? My bad. I just cannot remember her name. Jessica Alba. Who is married to Jessica Alba? Who is married to Jessica Alba? Cash Warren. My guy Chris Chen lives near Cash Warren and Jessica Alba. Crazy, isn't it? But so he doesn't answer my texts anymore. And he used to have dinner with Gilbert Arenas because I don't know, they were working on some NBA entertainment project back in the day, right? And he would tell me, yeah, and he would like text me at 12:30 a.m. and he'd go, guess who I'm having dinner with? I'm like, what? At least this was the first time or the second time. And so NBA people who are on NBA schedules, who have to do things like post game that I do here on this channel, we're on a different time scale. Like 1 a.m. is dinner time for us. So usually I sleep at like 1, 2, or 3 a.m. And that hasn't changed. I can't get out of that. It takes 6 weeks to develop a habit, just like Andre Iguodala said. So it is going to be a few more weeks before I start sleeping more at a sane time, like midnight, let's say. By the way, so Anthony Tsai, he was in All-Star Weekend for us with Brandon Pajemski. So let's look at the Pajemski playlist if it's at all possible. In fact, let me change one of the playlists, automatic playlists of this video to Brandon Pajemski as well, because Brandon is representing the Golden State Warriors over at the draft lottery. He is our lucky charm. Actually, Anthony here is actually our lucky charm. And to answer the what time is it? It is currently almost 12 noon for me. But it is almost 2 p.m. Yeah, almost 2 p.m. Yeah, almost 2 p.m. for Anthony, who's in Chicago, and the draft lottery will start right after 2 p.m. And I was just going to say, Anthony saw Brandon Pajemski, and Anthony, who is so nice to join us in the chat, which is incredible. He did the Pajemski. So if you go to the All-Star Weekend playlist, you can see that here is Pajemski, like here. And this interview is from Anthony Tsai right here. That's him filming this. So pretty cool, right? So Anthony lives in Chicago, went to Indianapolis for this, not a very difficult city to get to from Chicago. And then today they're at, I forgot which hotel they're at, but they're at some major hotel in Chicago. He sent me a picture, which I'm going to share with you. Okay, cool. Yeah. Thanks, Anthony. Okay. I'm literally texting Anthony right now. But I am going to now download a picture that he sent. Save. And thanks for bearing with me. That's the interesting quirk about these live streams, is that you gotta follow me through all these little twists and turns as we cover something on the live stream. What are these? By the way, Pajemski, I always keep this window open. Let's give Pajemski some credit. Led the league over to Jalen Brunson and Moritz and Draymond and Tim Hardaway Jr. and Isaiah Joe, wow, in charges taken. Here is the lone photo that we got. Let's get a photo. Can you get a photo from where you are in the room? Let me see if I can. Oh, okay. Anthony might get kicked out in a second. Oh, we got to get him to hop on the live. My bad. Sorry, Anthony. Let's hurry up on this. Let me find your email so I can reply back to Anthony. There it is. Reply. Let's delete all that crap. Send the StreamYard. My bad, Anthony. Sent you the link. Okay. What's up, RJ? So let's open the photo that Anthony just sent. And then, by the way, it's nothing much, but, you know, what are you going to do? I know, let's get lucky. All right. So let me screenshot the live stream right now so I can send it to the socials. Okay. And I got to do a whole bunch of things when I do screenshots. So go over there, send it to my phone, desktop screenshots, send to my phone, come back to your screen, make sure Anthony's not in the green room. So can I watch the, here's a comment. Can I watch the stream on the NBA app? I don't know. Bloomer's back with the old name. Good to have you. Where are all my Far East people? Are you guys, it's like 3 a.m. or something. Are you guys doing okay? Oh my gosh, Anthony's here. How you doing, man? Anthony, Tsai, everybody.
What's up, everybody?
Let's turn on the volume a little. Wow, great to have you.
Right now, yes, happy to be here. Right now, I'm at the back of the draft ballroom.
Oh, that's sick. Hold on, man. I got to screenshot that. Hold on. And smile. That's cool, man. That's awesome.
And we can see the ESPN, I think Woj and Kendrick Burks is right there.
Incredible.
Seats, everybody's settling in. It's going to start in a minute. And I think all the draft prospects are here as well. And in the very front, just very close to the stage, are the 14 tables that the 14 teams have the draft lottery positions. And I just saw most of the young players that will be representing the team walk to the back to get ready to go on stage and sit there and just go through the show. And yeah, it's great.
All right.
came into the room somehow, some way, and yeah, made it happen. We're here.
All right. Well, I think we'll let you go because what we're doing here is probably not something we want to just tell everybody because ABC and ESPN, they have exclusive rights to the room. So what you're seeing right now is pretty cool. So thanks, man. But we'll catch up with you, and then I can't wait. Maybe later you can get BP to go live with us. Who knows, right?
Who knows?
You
He
know,
doesn't have
so,
he doesn't have a lot of people with him today. I don't think I've seen much of Warriors like PR or officials people with them. So I saw I think it's his girlfriend, and I think that's it.
all
So
right.
yeah, I'll
Cool.
definitely ask him.
Well, I'll tell you what, try and video everything you can. Probably you going live from there right now is probably got to keep it hush hush. But try to do as much video as you can, and then we'll figure out later if we're allowed to post it on YouTube or not. We'll just figure it out later. But
Cool.
thanks, man.
I'll leave
Appreciate
it to you.
you coming in, man.
For sure.
He's
I'll see you
good
guys
luck
later.
from everybody. Anthony on the scene. Appreciate you, man. You know what? Let me take a screenshot of this because I can post this, the back of the house. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Thanks, Anthony.
All right, I'll see you later.
Appreciate you. Wow, what a treat, man. He goes, yeah, I can come on right now. That's incredible. Yeah, nice. Crazy, isn't it, Bloomer? He's there. Yeah. All right, so that was exciting. Let me send those screenshots out to myself and then post them on socials. And during this wait, we will suddenly get to the draft lottery, guys. Currently, it's Adrian Wojnarowski and they're taking pictures in the back. And Kendrick Perkins, and I actually don't know the female host there. I don't know her name. Darn. I should know it, but I don't watch ESPN enough because I don't really need to get my entertainment fix. I am going to do this one. Okay. Anthony Tsai, our roving reporter. Thanks for giving me some patience here because all I'm doing is posting on Twitter and Instagram right now. and why not? Threads chimes in from the NBA draft lottery in Chicago. Join join me and Dean of Positivity Chambers. I got to text Dean. Where did Dean go? Let's see. Let me text Dean real quick. Emailed you the link. I think I did. Hold on. Let me make sure that I did actually email Dean. My fault if I didn't. Let's see. Sent mail. Yeah. Did I send him that? Okay, yeah. We're good. We're good. Dean of Positivity Chambers for all the fun. And maybe Brandon Pajemski. What is Brandon's pods? No. What is Brandon Pajemski's Twitter? I can't remember. Twitter. Something weird. Pajemski. Pajemski. Cannot type, cannot spell. Brandon Pajim 2. Brandon Pajim 2. Okay, almost done, my friends. I got to do everything here. The marketing, this is marketing. Sending our link out on Twitter and everywhere else. That's marketing. And this YouTube channel, actually, come to think of it. Warriors Dub Nation. I tell you what, we'll know pretty quick. We'll know pretty quick if the Warriors are not in the, I don't want to jinx it though, but we're supposed to be 14th, and that'll be the first placard drawn. Wouldn't it suck if we went all the way to 5th? Because we're not going to retain our pick if we're the 5th. Sucks, man. All right, that's good. Go ahead and post that. Post that to the haters on Twitter. And let me go to YouTube. Let me go to Threads. I haven't been on Threads for a while. The only 2 threads that I've posted are now Pajemski related. The first one was when we had his dad on. We had his dad on this live stream eons ago. It's I think it's in the Pajemski playlist. Let me look. Let's go Warriors playlists. Pajemski. Where's Pajemski? Here it is. So we have today, and then we have, oh man, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I put it in here. It would be, I don't know, guys. These playlists are so, oh, there it is. Warriors live chat with Pajemski's dad. And when did he come on? There's Dustin Van Loo, Pajemski's trainer. All right, so let me post a thread. Okay. Does Brandon Pajemski even have a Twitter? I don't know. Screw it. Let's just post that thread and post it on YouTube. Melo on witnessing. Carmelo Anthony talked about witnessing Steph Curry's 54-point burst somewhere. Okay, they say when we come back, it will be time to do the draft lottery. Sorry, guys. I realized I spelled Pajemski wrong one time, and my iPhone will not let me type it differently. Okay, I got to do one more post on Instagram, guys. So thanks for your patience as I do this. Change it to that one. Check those DMs real quick. Make sure nobody from the NBA world is hitting me up at the moment. All right. All right. Let me do the little icon on Instagram. And we are done with that. Let me categorize it into the highlights of the YouTube. Okay, what's up, guys? Okay, throw it into the live highlights. And I should probably have my backup laptop just in case they interview somebody. Arbel is in the house. It's on ABC, Arbel. Arbel asked what channel it's on. I know, great to see him. What's up, Jabri? Do the Warriors keep their pick? No, if it's 5 through 15. 14. By contrast, obviously, yes, if it's 1 through 4. What pick do the Warriors have? Yeah, C, answer to Brayton above. Hey, we got another Giants fan from SF. All right, Brayton. So that answers your question there. It is basically boom. This is your answer. And we're back from commercial. They've got Tyrese Halliburton from Indiana on screen. So we will stay here for the watch party of that. And there are the people entering the draft lottery room. Can we see? Oh, Danny Ainge. Can we see Anthony? Yo, Anthony, where are you? We're looking for Anthony on the TV screen in the background. Hey, there's Zach Lowe. And I saw on Instagram or Twitter this morning, I saw, let's just put this on pause real quick. Let's go back to the picture. I saw that Zach Lowe said something outrageous, but I don't remember what it was. But it's always, by the way, they're showing the Warriors have an 0.7% chance of getting the #1 pick. Here we go. But it's Zach Lowe. They always, if you work for ESPN, you got to say something lame. Hey, Brandon Pajemski. What's up, BP? They're showing everybody it's Keegan Murray for the Kings. In fact, if you don't have ABC, you don't need to tune in. You can just go with me because I'm going to do the play-by-play. Ime Udoka, the coach of the Rockets. Julian Phillips for the Bulls. Landry Fields, GM of the Atlanta Hawks. I almost said New York Knicks because he played for the Knicks. Thurl Bailey. Okay. Wow. Hey, Dean, Thurl Bailey is representing Utah. Kayshawn Prince, NBA champion with the Memphis Grizzlies. I didn't even know he was affiliated. Scotty Barnes there for the Raptors. He is now the face of the franchise officially with Pascal Siakam and, their ring bearers, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, and Precious Achiuwa, all traded away. Hey, why does Scotty get to say something? Oh, because they asked about the WNBA franchise. Congratulations, Toronto. San Antonio, 10% chance. Brian Wright is the general manager. Scoot Henderson is there for Portland, who is like what they're supposed to get the 5th pick because they were the 5th worst team in the NBA, something like that. But they are going to get our pick at a 96.6% chance rate. They will have 2 lottery picks, most likely, as I speak right now. Anything can happen, but anyways. Representing Charlotte, Brandon Miller. What's up, Nancy Matthews? Rockets. I think Houston is on track for like 10 through 13th. 14% chance for number 1 pick, Oscar Thompson. Pretty sure it's pronounced Oscar, but I was not listening to the play-by-play by the ESPN reporter, but just kind of doing my own play-by-play. Houston would be, oh, my bad. Retract that one. Looks like top 5. Here we go. Is the first placard the Warriors? It probably is. So don't be disappointed or anything. And it'll save a salary cap too if we don't get it. But if not, it'll be exciting. Here we go. Mark Tatum, who is right here in the back there. 14th pick. Portland. That means we moved up, but can we move up 10 spots? Oh my God. 13th. Sacramento. What the heck? We moved up 2 spots, but we'll lose it. We'll lose it. Oh my God. OKC's 12th. What the heck? We'll move up again, but we got to move up a million spots here. The Warriors. The Bulls. Don't give us the freaking 5th pick. We'll lose it. The Utah Jazz at 10th? Don't tease us, man. I'd rather just have it Warriors right now than, oh my God, dude. That means Atlanta's top 4. Warriors. No, Memphis. What? Oh, man. You know what? Portland's going to get lucky. Warriors, right? The Spurs. Come on. Don't do this to me, Adam Silver. Come on. We're going to lose the 7th pick. Watch. God. This is ridiculous. What? Portland. What the heck? Oh, 8th. Yes. San Antonio's moved into the top 4. The Warriors, watch. The Hornets. Wow, we're going to get the 5th pick. Watch. Watch. Oh, my God. This is unfair. We got a top 4 pick. We got a top 4 pick. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Wait, is this for real? Is this for real? Is this for real? No. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. What is going on? Okay. I must not be understanding this. I don't know. Somebody tell me what's going on. What? Wait a minute, right? Somebody confirm my disbelief of us getting a top 4 pick. What? I'm so shocked by the. This must be wrong, right? I mean, what? What? Somebody confirm this from. Let's look at Twitter. Let's look at Twitter. Let's look at Twitter. What the hell? Notifications. It's somewhat. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm confused. You know, if I'm wrong, which I don't understand, if I'm wrong, and as I scroll this, you realize with me. Oh, they must have the other Portland one. It was the other Portland one. But you know what? It was fun to just like be surprised and be wrong. Oh man. So they must have already changed the placard to be Portland, right? Because Portland is here with the 7th and the it was this one. It was way back. Yeah. Portland, they put the Portland placard in for GSW. That's what happened. They put the Portland placard in for GSW at 14th. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. But it was fun to just be totally oblivious, honestly. I got to experience it, even though, I didn't believe it the moment we got, here it is. I didn't believe it the moment that we got to 5th and it wasn't us. I was like, oh, I must be understanding this wrong. Because then it would be, everybody in the room would have been crazy. So we get no picks. Well, we do have the 52nd pick. I think it was from the Corey Joseph. Maybe from, I should do this properly. Let's look it up. Warriors 52nd pick. Where did it come from? From the Indiana Pacers in the trade deadline. Yeah. From Indy in the Corey Joseph trade. Anyways. My bad, but it was fun. I wouldn't trade that. I have no regrets feeling like we actually defied ridiculous odds. Detroit done wrong back-to-back years. I know, right? I think I almost feel bad for the teams that ended up so low in the standings that this is their only hope. Like today, like what I just went through, like Detroit would have gladly taken my spot here to think for a moment that we actually had a top 4 pick rather than end up outside of the top 4, period. Like, that sucks, man. I think it's sometimes rigged, though. Yeah, my fault, everybody. Very poor journalism on my part. Oh, the placard said from, yeah, I'm just going like this. I'm just totally not doing my job. Atlanta Hawks get the number 1 pick. Good Lord. What were their chances? They had never won the lottery before. Tell me that's not rigged. Had never won the lottery before. Right? Tell me it's not rigged. Come on. Come on, man. Oh, gosh. I'm telling you, man. I figure it's rigged, man. Of course, I don't have any factual basis. But look, San Antonio getting Wemby. Come on. He's been a San Antonio fan his whole life. San Antonio has been rebuilding. And then Patrick Ewing to New York. I mean, like, it just, they look at it, they look at this, and they go, oh, man, which team kind of needs our help? And then you know how they rig it? Adam Silver goes, okay, Ernst and Young, go ahead and do the ping pong ball thing and let me see it. Let me see it, right? And then he looks at the results and he goes, run it again. And he'll run the process over and over again until Atlanta's number one. I'm telling you, that's my theory of how it gets rigged. It's not journalism. It's totally entertainment. My bad. And, and anyways, Anthony reports that, hold on. Let me see. Let me write some notes. And Anthony reports that there was a slight sigh of surprise when Detroit was not in the top four. Well, they got Cade Cunningham, so the NBA's like, run it again. Let me get Atlanta number one, or run it again. Oh, that doesn't look right. Run it again. Okay, that's the other reason why I was so weirdly shocked. Literally, when I was telling you all the teams earlier, the order, I was thinking, nah, this can't be right. They would never gift this to the Warriors. They would never gift us the top four picks, a top four pick like this. So in case you missed it, 1, Atlanta, 2, because I failed to do my journalistic duty, Washington, 3, Houston. So congratulations, you're number 3, Nancy. 4, San Antonio. Yeah, this is probably my worst spot of journalism in a long time. Probably ever, in terms of just not knowing how they were going to do this. But now I know, because we've never done one of these draft lotteries. Anyway, so that is your order. That's your order right there. Thank you, Law Murray, Clippers beat writer. Any other comments I missed? Very poor journalism. Very, very poor journalism. Hope they don't roast me on socials. Okay. Kojo, yeah, it was Kojo for that. Still, though, Detroit not getting top 4, that's a wow. I mean, that's a wow. What else is a wow here? Spurs having the 4th and the 8th. Jeez, that's not fair. Do you think the Spurs will draft? Will the Spurs draft another Frenchman? There's 2 projected in the lottery. And let's throw up our favorite lottery site, NBADraft.net. And let me text Eric G, who works for NBADraft.net, to see if he can join us today. All right, we got another picture from Anthony. So I'm going to save that one as well. Okay, let's text Eric G. Okay, and then we've got New York, Indiana. We'll do the watch party here because we haven't done New York yet or Indiana, and it's fun. It's fun to have you guys here, even though it's like 3 a.m. in the Far East, where a lot of our Blue Wrench loyal commenters are from. Let's look at the NBA. Oh, that's the problem with NBADraft.net, is they tend to go down every now and then. Oh my God, they can't do that. You can't crash right now. Come on, Aran Smith. First number one in almost 50 years. Very fishy. Hey, Dean Chambers in the house.
What's up, Rich?
Dean. All right, you sound great. Right
Oh, thank you. Cool. Good.
Yeah. Atlanta gets the number one pick. My bad, Shivansh. Got to your comments so late. Definitely rigged, right? Hawks GM knew. I know, right? No, I mean we're making up entertainment. We're making up entertainment. We have no proof. Next time we get the name escapes me, but the guy that we always have, my bad, the guy that we always have on draft night. Again, join us on draft night. We'll go live draft night and we'll have various experts. I'll beg trainers like Dustin Van Loo, Brandon Pajemski's trainer. I'll beg Travis Walton to come back. I'll even beg Brandon Payne to come back because we had him on our original draft night live stream back in 2020, and we haven't heard from him since. But anyway,
Steph Curry's trainer, Brandon Payne.
Steph Curry's trainer. Thank you. Yeah. Let me look up the name here real quick. How can I forget it? But anyways, he's with another draft service. We have him on every single year. He was in the war room when Portland picked Greg Oden. And so he can tell us what he thinks about the lottery being rigged. What do you think? What do you think, Dane? Is the lottery rigged? I think it is, man.
No, dude. Atlanta going up nine places is not sign of
no, but it's the rigging. First time.
I mean, San Antonio got dunked
in. It's the first time they've ever had the first pick in 50 years.
Really?
And did you hear my theory of how you would do that? Because you have Ernst & Young, accounting firm, they're there to make sure everything goes proper. I mean, if I'm the commissioner, I'd be like, okay, what did your ping pong ball thing give me in terms of number 1 through 14? And you kind of look at the top 4 and you kind of go, nah, that's not right. Do it again. And then, this time Atlanta came up number 1. All right, that one's good. Let's go with that one.
As opposed to who, though?
As opposed to Detroit again, number 1. You're going to give them Cade Cunningham, and then after years of failure, you're going to give them another number 1. That's too much help.
Cleveland?
Cleveland getting number 1 after losing LeBron. That's fishy.
They got 4 actually. They got LeBron.
Yeah.
Anthony Bennett, Kyrie Irving, and Wiggins. Yeah,
right.
4 number 1 picks. No, I don't think it's rigged. I don't think the company would be like, oh yeah, like throw away our reputation so we can get Atlanta number 1 pick.
Oh, come on.
I just don't think so.
There's none of that.
It's crazy.
You pay them some millions. Just keep it quiet for.
Yeah, but that's breaking the law, though, isn't it? If you're rigging the draft lottery.
Could be.
I think that would be a breach of contract or something like that. So I don't think
attorney-client privilege.
Yeah, but I don't think you have attorney-client privilege to break the law.
Have you seen the movie The Firm? Of course you do.
I haven't seen the movie.
Yes, you do.
No. Well, I mean, I don't think the NBA is rigging the playoffs or the draft or anything like that.
I never. There you go. So that's not a valid counter argument to my entertainment-based conspiracy theory. Like you can't say, "Oh, well, that is not rigged," and that. No. I'm talking about the lottery. Period. Like I don't care about. Of course, nothing else is rigged. At least post Donahue era. Rigged from a control point standpoint of the commissioner. So it could be the CEO of Ernst & Young and Adam Silver just having that sort of attorney-client privilege. I'm just explaining how I would do it.
It could be
the commissioner. That's how I would do it.
It could be
the process for Ernst & Young would be run multiple lotteries, and that's your instructions. And you don't need to know anything else. Just run multiple lotteries. Everything else, don't worry about. That's your job.
But they could just make that the official way of running the lottery is each team gets 5 chances, and whoever comes out top 3 times or whatever, that's the one you go with. But I don't think it's rigged. Although they might be trying to keep, Kenny, Ernie, and Shaq happy in Atlanta with the
Kenny, Ernie, and Shaq.
Yeah.
Oh, because they're Atlanta. Oh,
yeah. Ed Turner might lose the NBA. So
I don't know about that in terms of the Atlanta connection, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it's amazing though that Atlanta. On a more serious note, it's amazing that Atlanta went up 9 places. Is what I'm saying. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, because they were in the play-in, and they now have the number 1 pick in the draft. That's crazy. That is crazy. The Jazz have never had a number 1 pick that they drafted. They had the pick for Magic Johnson that they traded to the Lakers years before. They didn't know it was going to be Magic, but yeah, that's wild. The Warriors obviously just going to have a second rounder this year, but that's okay. It was very slim chance. Very slim chance.
Exactly. And by the way, the other reason why it's okay, because now we have a little bit more flexibility with the salary cap. Not that you don't want a top 4 pick. I would have been happy with a 4 pick.
Yeah.
These guys are freaking awesome ballers, man. Can we get actual look at these top 4 guys? Like
Zachary,
just wildly athletic. And by the way, we're going to start New York at Indiana right here. Look at Matas Buzelis, touted. I heard his name so many times last summer. 6'10", 210. Like, he's listed at 6th. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then, do you think San Antonio will take another Frenchman? That would be crazy, right?
I mean, they do have a history of international players going after this, and French guys too, honestly.
I mean, yeah.
Boris Diaw before Wemby, of course.
And you look at it from the NBA Commission, again, maybe not a conspiracy, but for a small market team like San Antonio to have the love from France, it's like the perfect balance. They almost become a quiet big market team. By the way, Hartenstein starts off with a dunk. Good roll action there. Why don't you save your thoughts for the next time out, and then you're not required to stay with us, but maybe pop in later on if you think of something.
Oh yeah, I could come in at halftime or whatever if that's what you want me to do.
Yeah, why don't you save all your thoughts till then?
Okay.
Have you on. All right,
cool. Sounds good.
See you later.
Tony Parker, that's right.
Yeah, Tony Parker. Yep, San Antonio Spurs, Frenchman. Thank you, Dean. Presser Sachua attacks and gets fouled, and Siakam picks up a foul. Keeping Siakam out of foul trouble is key for Siakam himself. Hey, thanks for joining us, Shivansh. 1 a.m. We gotta make you a blue wrench one of these days. Let's see, who was the referee? Oh yeah, Eric Lewis. I really like Eric Lewis, man. It was wrong what they did, man. And Mike Dunleavy. Yeah, nice free trip to France, though. All right, Andrew Nebhart gets free, scores a layup. So it's 2-2 as I think Precious missed his free throws. It's relative, Bloomer, on the answering this comment right here. Jalen Brunson fakes out Miles, but goes to DiVincenzo for 3, in and out. No good. I'll answer your question at the next time out because I want to do play-by-play properly this time. Ty Halliburton pulls up for 3. in transition. They take a 5-2 lead. We're at 10-16, 10-15, 10-14, 10-13, 10-12. And instead of saying Hartenstein every single time, I'm just going to call him I for Isaiah. I with the ball, looking for the dribble handoff. Eventually got it to DiVincenzo, Dante. Let's call him D. And they work it around in Nesmith, Aran Nesmith. Maybe call him Aaron. And Nebhart, I'm going to call him Andrew, just because it's easier to pronounce that than their last names, quite honestly. There's a foul on Aaron, and Brunson with the ball, or JB from 3, no good. Off of Myles. Let's call them by their first names, like we know them. Oh, wait. Is it off? Ed Malloy doing the game. They're showing Ed Malloy getting yelled at by Brunson, by JB, because he thought it was a landing spot foul on that miss. JB down the lane against Aaron, pulls up, no good, back rim. Tsai with the rebound, easier to say than Hallie. Tsai back up Myles, over to Andrew, attacks I on the switch. Myles gets picked by JB on the switch. Good defense by New York. And that's what you love about New York, is that they're so gritty. That's the type of defense you want to see. Could have been a palming violation by JB, but they didn't call it because, you shouldn't call those here. And D finds Precious down the lane. Dante has been playing balls out lately. I mean, golly, you thought he was good when he played for us. Jeez, he's hit the peak. And a push shot by Pascal in the lane, assist Andrew. Oh, let's see here. All right, so they swing it a couple times over to Josh. Fakes a 3 on Tsai. Josh Hart, he's so good, but he's short on the jumper. Got a little jumper at the free throw line. Tsai races it up over to Andrew. Back to Tsai. Fakes the 3. Bye-bye down the lane. Kick out again. Extra pass over to Andrew for 3, but no good, man. Tsai is so good at swinging that ball and kicking out. It's nuts. It's too bad. Too bad we don't really have a guy like that other than Steph. And JB against Aaron, great matchup. Good for Aaron to step up. 3 ball by D, missed it. Tsai rebound, brings it up. Over to Pascal, over to Aaron, kick it to Andrew in the corner. Man, the ball movement is great. I love watching the Pacers. And 3 ball by Tsai is good. They got Tony Brothers out there. I don't know about Ben Taylor, though. He stays rather anonymous, which I think is a good thing. Timeout Tibbs. Box score 10-4, 7:31. So let me answer that question. It's relative, though. The draft is deep in terms of talent and athleticism, but probably not as top heavy as usual. I think you can always find a good one at 52. But let's see what Eric G says about that whenever we get him on, whether it's the day of the draft or whatever. So to answer your question, first name basis, yeah, it's just easier to do play-by-play. Plus, it just brings me back to when I used to coach my tournament team, and you're yelling at your guys during the game, and you're just doing what you do as a coach, and you don't want to call, you just shorten guys' names. That's what you do. So MDJ, we would actually never say MDJ, would just Mike, Yeah, that was so embarrassing by my standards. But that's the other thing is, like I was saying, embarrassing, but then again, I've learned how to enjoy life and just not worry about what people think, what people might think. Kind of like Steph or Klay. So yeah. So I don't really to make a point of it, to give you a life lesson. I stay away from anxiety things like embarrassment, regret, or other general what I call upscaling? No. Downscaling? No. I forgot the name of it. Let's call it downtrending unhappiness. I'm hardly ever on Twitter anymore, for example. Anyways, we're still at the timeout. I appreciate everybody being here, though, and enjoying it with me, even though we were totally in a blissful mood. We're back to action, but I'm a little late to this. Precious gets a dunk that he missed. He wanted a foul. But you know what? Did anybody watch the game yesterday? Hubie Brown was criticizing Derek Lively and PJ Washington, maybe just Derek Lively, for missing, getting fouled and not converting the and one at the rim. He's absolutely right. Precious, you got to make that. I mean, I don't care if you're fouled. It should be an and one anyways. Tsai misses a three. I with the rebound. And JB, great defense by Andrew. But JB has Andrew's number in terms of those finesse moves. In terms of the physical moves, not so much, because Indiana plays great defense. JB missed the layup. Pascal tries to go 94 feet, but knocked out of bounds by JB. All right. What else? Second round picks are getting better and better. Yeah. Trace was a second rounder. Yep. First round and a half is a pretty interesting way of calling it. Although we don't make it in the first round and a half, technically, mathematically, because that'd be 45 picks would be the round and a half. And we got 52nd. Halliburton or Ty drives, and there's TJ, kick it to Shepherd. Ben misses from three. He's been hitting that in New York. Did not hit in Indiana last game, but hit in New York, which is very reverse for a rookie. I thought Indiana played really well, though. TJ gets the steal on the pass from JB, assist to dunk Tyrese. There's the TJ on JB. It's going to wear JB down over 7 games, man. And just like the full court press, I love watching the second unit of Indiana right here. Let's watch them full court press next time down. But JB pulls up over TJ, missed it. Oh, that's the thing is JB usually hits those, but when he doesn't, oh gosh. Now you got 4-on-3, 4-on-2, and it's a tic-tac-toe tie to Myles, the TJ layup. It's 14-4 Indiana. It's the war of attrition. When I saw Indiana Game 1, I think it was, second unit, full court press. I was like, this is going to be a long series. But D gets the dish off to Precious for a dunk baseline. That's the guy they forgot about. That's pretty much their fifth option if you ask the Pacers coaching staff, because I can hit the little floater inside or a little jump hook. Tsai left side, double step back. Now he's stuck, but he, of course, finds a release valve to somebody. Myles for 3 at the shot clock buzzer. He hits it straight away from 32 feet or so. Really, 26.9 is the line. So probably 28 feet minimum. At the buzzer with the hand in his face. JB against TJ and can't get free. Goes to I. I attacks Myles and Myles blocks it. Way to get back, Myles. They're on another fast break. Tsai for 3, sidestep over Precious, in and out, but Myles gets the rebound and New York is worn down. Look at Isaiah is exhausted. Tibbs has to call timeout. He's exhausted, but Josh doing the mini LeBron thing. Dribbles through 2 guys, draws contact, misses it. Precious puts it back. Josh Hart, he's amazing. Josh Hart is amazing. Golly, he's so good. TJ takes JB and 1 left side, a little bit of a bump. Very ticky-tack, but it's kind of what us OG people would say, a home court call. And I guess Tibbs isn't going to call timeout. So TJ is going to go to the line. Indiana's up, 16-6 or something? No, 21-8, my bad, 21-8. I forgot about this 3 that they're replaying from Myles right at the shot clock buzzer. Myles did not play well last game. And that's the thing I love about I don't love that the Warriors are out of the playoffs, but I do love the fact that we get to watch 16 teams play, or last week, 16 teams. Now we get to watch 8 teams play all the time, game after game. Tibbs has to bring in Jericho Sims. He's stuck. Oh, and it's an 8-second call. Great defense by Myles. And you love as a former coach, you love the press. You absolutely love this, because every coach has told their guys to press a team at any given point in their coaching career, myself included. And usually they screw up in some way. So when you watch this at the highest level, this would have never happened in the 90s. It's just beautiful basketball, man. TJ takes Dante for a bucket. Oh my gosh. Indiana way up, but New York is built for this. So I wouldn't make a prediction at all at this point. TJ a little bit too much contact, but that's a foul that you love as a coach. That's like, way to go, TJ. Just get in Jalen's space, which he does a great job of. And by the way, I know that a lot of people are rooting for the Knicks because, on the surface, it seems like they would be a better matchup against Boston. And I know that a lot of you, like the majority of you being Warriors fans, do not want the Celtics to win, because not just as sort of redemption from the 2022 championship lost by Boston, but also that they have 17 rings. They have 17 Larry O'Briens. We're going to go more than 10 championships behind Boston. That sucks. But people think that New York only really has a chance against Boston. But I don't think so. But then that also says that New York is tough and resilient and has the grit, as seen by Dante's corner 3 right there. TJ attacks early, kick out to Obi, who's been playing great. Fakes a 3, drives in, and that's why he's been playing great. Obi Toppin finally acting like the lottery pick that he was. And a lot of times it's just the right fit. Dante with the beautiful Euro, but he missed it. Tie 3-on-2. Now it's 3-on-3. Look at Josh Hart get back. Look at that. But they swing to Ben for 3, corner good, assist Obi. You just love the pace. Indiana is just incredible. Oh, TJ gets knocked to the floor by Jericho. I think it was a clean pick. I think it was clean. And Jalen missed a three. Siakam brings it up. Pascal kicks it. Obi topping three over Jalen. Good. This is perfectly executed game plan. Turnover. Josh Hart threw the inbound straight to Ben, but Pascal missed an easy jumper. Oh well. Dante. I am rooting for Indiana because I just love the way they play. I also love the way New York plays too. So it's whatever. But New York's the one that's up 2-1. That's why I'm rooting for the Pacers today. Now, Dante misses a three. Now, I do think New York maybe, alley-oop, TJ, early offense to Obi. Wow, this is the Pacers executing the game plan to perfection. You love it as a coach, honestly. Jalen calls a timeout. I'm going to do a restroom break real quick, but just great execution. Let's check in with Anthony real quick. When I go to the break, I will check in with Anthony. Restroom break, be right back. Because I had to have my green tea frap to wake up this morning. Remember my NBA time scale. I sleep at 3, but I'll be right back. And here's the score. It's in 34-11. Really? You look up and you go, this must be a blowout, right? And it is. It's crazy. 34. All right, guys, I'm back, and I do want to report that Anthony tells me that Brandon Pajemski just up and left after the lottery was over with. I guess media availability was optional, which is understandable, and I don't think Golden State sent any PR rep out there, so that's understandable. Warriors PR is very, as is all 30 teams. They are very, very, they're control freaks. So if you don't see any PR people, then they're probably not doing any media. But let's refocus back onto this series, Indiana, New York. Hey, Jordan Poole Jr. Indiana and Frostbake is a movie. I know, right? That's a very awesome way to put it. Oh, hey. Oh, man, you have a toothache? Sorry to hear that. Hope you get better. Here are some second round picks that have been doing well. JB, man, he'd thrive under any coach. He's bona fide superstar. Bona fide superstar. Josh Hart, bona fide all-star, although he will never get picked as an all-star. Josh Hart gets a reverse layup. So it's 34-13 with 104, 103, 102 as they play great defense as Indiana has to kick it out a million times, but Obi gets a three. It's an air ball. Alec Burks in the house. He's a good player. He'll be important as New York has a lot of injuries. 3-ball by Deuce McBride, no good. Pascal rebound. Andrew nearly backcourted that on the cross-court pass to TJ. They didn't call it, though. It wasn't obvious enough. Kick to Ben Shepherd, and he's not going to make that because he thought about passing the ball to Andrew before he shot the ball, which rookies typically don't make that. And Jalen, 94 feet later, draws a foul. Jalen Brunson, man, this guy, wow. I mean, this guy is incredible. I still like Tyrese Maxey, and it's just a personal choice, I think, between the two. It's going to be pretty awesome to see both of those, 6'2" guys. Are they even 6'2"? What is their height? Let's keep NBA draft up here. Let's get rid of Twitter. Jalen Brunson height 6'2", right? And then Tyrese Maxey height. We got a timeout. Probably Carlisle wasn't happy with, unless there's a challenge. Probably Carlisle was not happy with giving up a 94-foot push by Jalen after a missed three by Ben, where he had to fake the pass to the corner and then shoot it. Like, just shoot the ball. 6'2", yeah. So pretty cool matchup in the East anytime the Sixers play the Knicks. So as I was saying earlier, the silver lining to the Warriors not being in the playoffs for me personally is that I get to just sort of enjoy, without any other external pressures, enjoy these 8 remaining teams. I get to enjoy and really dive into it. And one of the things I thought about was, here's a question for you. Would we be in trouble if we faced the Pacers? I think our old guys would be a matchup, a huge matchup concern. What do you think? Let's do a poll just for the hell of it. Generally speaking, would we have problems versus Indiana? Versus Indy's youth? Yes, 7 games. 6 games. But we might lose 6. Nah. Let's see. Nah, we advance in 4 or 5. Or the fourth option would be, I don't know, got to think about it. Let's just have some fun with the poll. All right, go back to the box score. All right, so TJ against Alec says bye-bye, Alec. Jalen, nice switch. TJ blows a layup. Here comes Josh Hart. He's just like they were saying, him and LeBron running the 94 feet is amazing. And they couldn't score. Deuce McBride didn't score at the buzzer, but it's amazing they even got a layup attempt. 34-14 Indiana as they closed out poorly, but the vast majority of that quarter they played awesome, and the score reflects how they would, oh, okay. Bruce disagrees. Okay, well then. Our second unit is young enough so that we break their second unit press, or explain, even though I don't normally require you to explain in the comments. I mean, you get 200 characters per comment, but look, we're a bunch of Warriors fans. We're at the bar cheers right now. We don't have any Warriors to cheer on right now. We're just observing two teams. We're out of it. We're eliminated. Let's go ahead and talk. You know, it's a little bit different right now for us. Oh, Bruce is doing the relative thing. Bruce is our Albert Einstein in terms of everything is relative. So just like when I said I'd rather take Tyrese Maxey than Jalen Brunson, he was like, "Well, look at who's guarding Jalen Brunson. It's Oubre, it's Batum. He's got a tough matchup." Whereas Tyrese has somebody his size on him, and so that's what Bruce brings us is relativistic terms. They have no one for Curry. Okay. Well, I mean, my counter argument to that would be Andrew Stephen Nebhart burned us for 30 and 10 at Chase. Anyway, you forgot about Andrew Stephen Nebhart? You know, Stephen's a middle name, right? I think we can agree that Andrew Jeffrey Wiggins has been mothballed. Yeah, there's no more Andrew Jeffrey Wiggins. There may not be an actual Andrew Wiggins. We'll see. Like we've been saying the last X number of live streams, it's hard to see any GM in the NBA running this back. So when you say that Klay is likely to come back if he's not emotional about his contract situation, or I mean, if Orlando offers 40 million or OKC, or let's say anything over 35 million, right? So I got to put this in the comments. Actually, let's put the poll in the comments or in the description. Let's see. Poll on if Indy would run the Warriors, and then here at the 123 mark, on all NBA GMs probably not running back the same Warriors. Klay could leave though if a playoff team like Orlando, OKC, Philly offers him 40, but offers him 35 or more. But like that's he wouldn't do it for 1 year. It would have to be 2 years. But we'll talk about that later. Traveling now on TJ. Sometimes TJ falls into turnover mode. We've seen it before. We saw it against the Warriors, actually, but everybody else played great. And I mentioned that during the Warriors game. A reaching foul by TJ against Jalen, but he has 6 fouls to waste. And he's probably not going to finish the game. The problem with TJ McConnell finishing a game is that he can't hit an open three. Jalen gets by, uses the offhand, scores, used a little interference, sort of a screen at the top. TJ brings the ball, holds it, couldn't find anybody, but it ended up being a foul on Alec Burks inside the paint, guarding Pascal. So side out. Davis would dominate the boards. Oh, Davis. Don't think of Trace as Davis. All right, Davis. Dale's son, Dale Davis. All right, Pascal over to TJ. You see wide open for 3, doesn't take it, but instead he drives, and that's bad defense by Deuce. And Isaiah Jackson's going to get the rebound putback. You don't lunge out on TJ McConnell. That's the last thing you do, but that's Deuce McBride, and that's what you get from the second unit. You get game plan misexecution sometimes. Jalen dancing with the ball, drive kick out to Deuce, and that's what Deuce does well. That's why he's out there, is not for his defense, it's for his ability to hit that three and score the bucket when needed. Pascal post up on Josh Hart, who switched over. Josh Hart's like, let me guard him. But Pascal scores on the turnaround banker. So it's 38-19. Got him doubled up. 10-22, 10-21, 10-20. I'll get to your comments at the next timeout. With the, wow, amazingly good lead pass. He's so good at that. But Josh moved his pivot foot. I don't know if I agree with that. Tony Brothers calls it. Josh certainly vehemently disagrees with that, with Tony Brothers, but home court call? I don't know. That's pretty ticky-tack. Pretty ticky-tack in a Western Conference semifinal or Eastern Conference semifinal game. Pascal fakes going out to the wing and cuts, and TJ assists as fooled Josh Hart there, because Josh was ready to he's going to call timeout now because Pascal had just scored in the post on him. So Josh is like, okay, I'm going to step up my physicality here. And Pascal fakes him out. And Pascal's a great fit and good choice. Good choice by Pascal to go to Indiana. he probably instantly told Mike Dunleavy, I'm not signing no extension with you guys. All right. So Pacers do not rebound. Yeah, Brandon Pajemski would get a lot of good rebounds there. All right, you guys, you know what? Dean said in the last live stream, none of these teams we would be afraid of. And I totally agree. Like, everybody's beatable based on our observations here. And if you just apply what we saw, especially in the last 41 games, again, the last 41 games, I got to go back to Klay Thompson in a minute, but last 41 games, sixth best in the NBA. There's the link. This is Stat Muse, best record last 41 games, right? Well, right here. So none of these teams, as Dean said, none of these playoff teams scare us. But let's see. I'm glad I made it a 4-choice poll. And by the way, back to, not to jump around, but to jump around, back to the roster thing on Andrew Wiggins. It's just like, me and Dean are looking at this, and it's like, well, you're not trading any of these guys other than, okay, Chris Paul, you're probably not retaining. You're just letting him walk, probably, just to get under the tax 1 year, to stop the repeater tax, as Lacob told Tim Kawakami. Okay, Looney, you might do something about, but it's like, well, last year we shipped out Jordan Poole and he was a top 6 player. This year, what do we do? Like, it's probably not Gary, because kind of need his defense, and like, if you don't trade him by the option date, then he'll just opt in, and we're, and then I guess you could trade him at the $9 million mark. That's a, tradable asset, I guess. But then the main tradable assets are the ones that have some weight to their contract. $26 million. That's something you can get something back for. You don't really trade a $9 million guy for 2 $5 million guys or another $9 million guy. mean, those are very minor trades. That's not really going to do a whole lot for your team. And so that combination is why we think Andrew Wiggins is going to be the fall guy in terms of the first 41 games. But he didn't play well either. Him, Klay, and Draymond was out. So second straight year, Draymond has contributed to probably somebody getting traded. But we love you, Dre. Anyways, they miss, and TJ brings it up. Couple handoffs. Kick it to Aran in the corner. 3-ball, no good. Isaiah Jackson with the almost putback. Couldn't get it go down, but ball pops out to Aran. Now TJ, we're at 9-16, 9-15, 9-14. TJ will attack I. Missed it, and there's Nesmith. It's officially pronounced Nesmith. No, it was Isaiah Jackson. My bad. IJ with the rebound and foul. He'll go to the line. So this is the summer of Fall Guy. I don't get any commission for mentioning the words Fall Guy for the movie, but Wiggins maybe being the fall guy for the roster shakeup, as most GMs do not run back the same team unless they won the championship. I.e., Nuggets really just, the only thing they did was they couldn't afford Bruce Brown anymore. So let him walk. That's letting people walk is a little bit different than, not running back a team. But anyways, Deuce McBride 3-ball, no good. Ben Shepherd over to TJ, over to Pascal, right side, pick and roll IJ. Kick it to Aran for another 3 in the corner. Another miss, but TJ hustles and misses a layup. Isaiah rebound. Hartenstein. Over to Alec Burks for 3, no good. Aran rebound, kick out Pascal. He's going to attack. Euro scores on Isaiah. I'll call him Hartenstein. There's 2 Isaiahs out there. That's the problem. Call Jackson IJ. And he gets a steal. Isaiah steals from Isaiah over to Pascal. Kick out to TJ. Rare 3-ball. Hits it. He was so open, though. That time, Deuce wasn't going to get taken off the dribble. And sort of did the right thing, but TJ also did the right thing. Hit an open 3. Deuce attacks. Over to Alec. And he scores. Beautiful Euro. Beautiful. Jump stop, really. 47-21, though. Golly, I guess maybe second half we can cruise through this. TJ travels. That's the right call that time. Not a good jump stop by TJ. He's somewhat turnover prone at times. We saw it against the Warriors, actually, but they won that game. All right. We're going to get Eric G at halftime. So that's fantastic news. Yay. Let me put that announcement up. Eric G of NBADraft.net will join us at halftime. Good defense, Aran against JB. JB attacks weak hand, shoots it with his left. Oh, in and out. Man, his ability to make those are just incredible. But they got an offensive rebound. Dante attacks Myles, gets blocked. Precious rebound. They're running out of time. Dante for 3, blocked. Jalen rebound, but he stepped on the baseline. Ed Malloy, one of my top 5 refs, makes the call. Jalen claps his hands, but so is everybody else in the arena, including TJ McConnell on the bench. It's funny how they're just showing everybody clapping. That's a great shot of the leader of a team saying, no big deal. No big deal. We hustled like crazy to get those rebounds, and I stepped on the line. No big deal. That's good leadership. Tyrese against Dante. Pick and roll Myles. Gets the switch. They swing. Obi finds a tie. Another pick and roll. Great defense by Dante. Knocked it away from an all-star. An all-NBA player. God, Dante, man. And he feeds I scores, and I's hurt. Isaiah Hartenstein's hurt. Oh my gosh. 5-on-4. Ben Shepherd 3. Dante rebound, but I looks like he's all right. He came back, and he finds Jalen on the touchdown pass. That's the heart of the Knicks. Did they call timeout? Timeout. Carlisle, disgusted by the fact that they got another 94-foot putback. Oh, man, they're showing the replay of Hartenstein falling to the floor, man. I know the feeling, man. Oh, man, I know the feeling. When you land on your elbow like that and your whole body comes down on the weight onto the elbow. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Timeout. Oddly, I don't know. Maybe it's just disgusted by the lack of getting back on defense, even though Indiana is up 47-25. Burks has been terrible, really. Oh, I would pass on him. Yeah. I'm passing on anyone over 30 that isn't making at least Wiggins territory salary. So I agree with Bruce. Dean and Bruce debate Alec Burks. Put it in the notes for fun. And for a vet man, I don't think he's at a vet man. And that transactionally is incorrect. Burks is 10 million. $10 million. And also, when you look up certain guys, you got to remember some of them are buyout guys. Just like Pat Beverly, he already said thank you, Milwaukee. People are like, I looked in the Instagram comments on that. There's Milwaukee Bucks fans like, you don't think we can get him back? You don't think we can get him back? No, you can't get him back. This guy is worth 13 to 15 million on the open market. You got to look before the buyout, and that's the problem with the hoops hype thing. I should just come up with a what do we call it? Salary cap. If I redid hoops hype salary cap tables, what should I call it? Like, I don't know. Trade machine salary cap tables? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Silly question, but like, there's flaws. There's flaws in these cap table things. Like what's the mission statement of this cap table? Because is it just to show the literal? I think it's just to show the literal thing. But this doesn't help me when I try to find Patrick Beverly as a free agent. How much is he worth? Then I have to go and click over here and see how much he was making before the buyout. It was like, it was 13 million, 3-ball by Indiana. So when you look at it that way, a Milwaukee fan commenting in Instagram in the comments, oh wait, what happened? We can't get it. You can't. You have 184 committed. You're not signing Patrick Beverley at 13 million. He's not worth another 39 million in taxes. Like, duh. So like, but only people that look at salary caps and understand Obi Toppin for 3 in the corner. Only people that look at these salary caps that aren't afraid of looking at these, that actually enjoy looking at salary cap tables and salary tables, understand that. And that's the unfortunate part. Maybe it's the fortunate part of NBA fandom these days. You have to understand salary cap tables. There's literally no excuse. If you're going to ever complain, or you could just not complain and have gratitude for the Warriors all the time. 3-ball, Andrew puts them up 55-27. They've more than doubled the Knicks. It was the first quarter, the first 11 minutes of the first quarter. I've just done them in plus two of these threes. So Jalen is going to get a foul called on Aran, and that's why he's an elite player. Jalen is just able to, and he didn't even need to sell that. It was just great offense. Yeah, I don't see Alec Burks. Any guys that can get a bucket are not veteran minimums. Dante misses a push shot, but he tips his own layup in. That's incredible. All right. Andrew Nemart. Waiting. He's against Precious, and he's going to go to Myles for 3. Got it. When you're feeling good, you're feeling good. I was not impressed by Myles last game. And to me, he's just one of those guys that really thrives on emotion. And he's probably worth his salary. You know, what is it? 20-something million? Let's check. Indiana. It's great to have Hoops Hype Up while you're watching other teams. You get a real sense of how much guys are worth. 20 million. That's why people were always like, oh, we should get Myles Turner. We should get Myles Turner. How? How are you going to get Myles Turner for a $20 million salary? We would have had to give up Wiggins at the time. And Wiggins at the time was, there's Alec Burks. That's not a veteran minimum move there, Dean. He just got an and one on Halliburton. Hit him in the chin. So I'm sure Indiana's going to go, review that. We want a flagrant. So we'll see. But Alec Burks, I have to disagree, is definitely not a veteran's minimum. But, you know, could be wrong. Let's see how old he is. I would guess 31. Let's see. Alec Burks, 10 million type player. Oh, let's see. He is 91. July 91. So that puts him at 33. Yeah, okay. I'll give Dean the taxpayer exception. 6 million, maybe. He's getting old. Let's go back to the box score. Tsai dancing around, probably mad from getting hit in the chin. And nice assist to Obi, but he blew the layup. And then now that's a bad pass by Josh Hart. A rare bad pass. Andrew bad pass, Dante deflection and steal. Man, the Villanova culture, man. It is just gritty. It's gritty. Alec Burks. 3-ball fouled by Tyrese. He finagled a 3 out of nothing. Tyrese. Now the ref is asking Tony Brothers, was that a 2 or a 3? I think they're going to have to reveal it. Let's see. His foot is on the line. Good call. All right. Since it's free throws, we will check the comments. No rags, just love it. Yeah, he's 32. There you go. Yep. Oh man, hilarious. I would prefer CP. Interesting. Isn't CP too old? Oh man. Villanova Knicks. Okay, we'll come back to the CP talk. Man, how did we get on that? Oh, I gotta reread the thread. How do we go from Alec Burks to Chris Paul? Anyways, Andrew down the lane got fouled, no call, and won. Wow, Tyrese was like, "What? Where's the call, man?" And he has a right to be upset because they made a couple calls on him. I mean, I'm Tyrese. Just remember the men's rec league. Like, how can you call that on me? And now Jalen with that elite fake, and there goes to show you. Keep working on your mid range, people. Okay, work on your mid range. It might buy you a couple free throws. Wow, what a great move by Jalen. Like everybody, me, you, Brandon Pajemski, work on your mid range. It's not a dinosaur yet. You can draw free throws in the playoffs. Jalen Brunson misses at the line, but you know what? I saw a thing from Mike Dunn, Pajemski's shooting coach. He said not to put your toe on the nail like Jalen's doing because you're actually off center. But what's his clip from the line? Let's look at Jalen's clip from the line. BKRef.com, Jalen Brunson. Career free throw percentage is 82%. I bet you he could be 90 though. Andrew for 3, but what happened? Illegal defense or something? I don't know. No, it's Nick's ball. We move on. I missed that play. Josh Hart, screen from Precious. Nope. Here's a nope. Passes it to Burks. 1-on-1 against Aran. Fadeaway 2 ball. Good. That's what he does. Guys like Alec Burks is really just valuable in these situations only, and maybe a few regular season games, but not a lot. But that's, regular season, you're like, no, shoot more threes or whatever. Tsai misses a 3, but athletic Aran put back against old man Burks. He's a young 32, though. He's pretty good, though. Dante turns the corner. Oh, blows a layup. We kind of know about that. We know all of Dante's warts. That's why the other game when he was making 3 after 3, and he's really tired right now, understandable. He hasn't taken a break, I don't think. But, we've seen Dante miss a bunch of 3s, and we're like, bro, how are you missing that? How many people saw the last game with the Knicks and were like, why didn't you make this many 3s for us, man? But Dante can make those, and he's really hit the apex of his career here. Pascal finagles a mid-range 1-and-1 scores. It's 64-37. At least they're not getting doubled up. They better not be. That would be insurmountable. 37. They're only down 27, only. 57 seconds left. Myles with the show kind of doubles Jalen. Over to Alec. Misses it. Ball caroms, and athletic Aran gets the ball. Over to Nembhard. Andrew. Josh Hart fronts Pascal in the post. God, Josh Hart's so good. I love that guy. He's going to be a Nick lifer. Tsai with the fake on Alec. Nobody's afraid of Alec. That's the thing. You get a little bit more confidence, and Tsai's going to make that shot. And a lot of guys are going to make their shots against Alec. Andrew trying to stay in front of Jalen here. Left wing. Does the turn your body post-up move. Gives him the fake. God, he's such an elite scorer. Jalen is crazy, dude. But they're still down 27. 13 seconds to go. Tsai brings it up on Dante. They have 1 to give? No. Both teams in bonus. Tsai with the screen flare, shoots a three, scores it over Dante, nothing you can do about it. Dante does the right thing, doesn't show the Klay upset thing. Alec is fouled. Oh my gosh, by Pascal. They want to review it, I bet. Tyrese says no. Keeps shaking his head, but the assistant coaches are gonna look at the iPad. I love Dante's reaction though to the Tyrese three. It's like, okay, good shot, Klay, you need to do that. Give some guys some respect. That's showing respect. Guy hits a three in your face, put your head down for 1 second, then run to offense. Apparently, Pacers didn't want to challenge that. Maybe because of 0.9. We never got a replay of it, which network executives got to learn how to reposition NBA. Here's my daily NBA rant. You got to position NBA to be like the NFL. As long as the NFL keeps analyzing their game the way they analyze it, there is no excuse for you not to do that. You need to show the replay of the foul immediately, because we still don't know if Pascal really fouled him. Like, is Pascal really that boneheaded to make a foul that will give him how many fouls? Was it on Pascal anyways? I need to look at the play-by-play, but scroll down here. Pascal, yeah, 3 fouls. Like, really? He's not gonna foul him. But you don't challenge with 0.9 left. But maybe you do with Pascal getting his third. Anyways, I gotta email Eric. I totally blanked out. Eric G. Yeah, my bad. All right, I just sent you the link. Got to do a restroom break. So please wait, Eric G. Restroom break. Restroom break BRB with Eric G of NBADraft.net. Be right back. Thanks for your patience, guys. It's really fun to have you here. All right, I'm back. I don't see Eric G in the green room just yet, but he will be on our channel shortly. And so let me cue that up in the notes in the description. So let's see, Eric Eric G of NBA Draft joins us. Oh, Shams was there. Oh, cool. Okay. Okay. No, Zach Edey. Oh, yeah, that's the guy from Purdue, right? I don't really get a chance to watch draftees play, but I'm still always number one wanting long athletic wings, which Edey technically is not. Also, check out the Draymond comments. Check out Draymond on that. Draymond on his podcast talked about Edey. I think he was scouting the championship game, and I think it was Draymond, and he kind of just said that that they let UConn let Edey beat them and shut down everything else, and he couldn't do it. So that's a yellow flag, I would say. But Eric G would know more. And hopefully Eric G will be with us shortly, but we'll see. Please splash the like. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, to answer your question on the athletic wings, who do we have in mind? Eric G has some people in mind, and it would be great to just have him tell you, because he knows off the top of his head. I'd have to go look at my messages with Eric G to draw out the names, because I don't really know these guys. There is a I think a French guy that might be available at 52. That is a long athletic wing. Yeah, to answer your question, Bloomer, watching Myles Turner, if Looney is still a Warrior this offseason, he must turn into a Myles type. And I almost want to do a poll. Do you agree with that, guys? Good question, bro. I love the fact that Bloomer always keeps it going. Oh, Anthony hit us up. Dang it. Where was the Bloomer comment that had Looney in it? My bad. Dean's got a lot of ideas as well. I'd love to comment on those as well. Dude, when you can't find the comment you're commenting on, that really throws a wrench in the flow of the live stream. My bad. I found it though. Mid-range, exactly. I totally agree with you, Bloomer, on the mid-range. And, to copy and paste that into my notes, I can't just take what's on the screen. I have to go scroll in the YouTube comments. So it took me so long. Dean is in the house. We're still waiting on Eric G. What's up, Dean?
What's up, Rich?
Oh, I sent the email to Eric, and he's telling me I sent it to the wrong email. Ah, crap.
Well, let's see what you're talking about.
So we're gonna get
asking about the mid-range.
We're also probably gonna run into the second half, which who cares? Let's just keep going, right?
Yeah, it's not a Warriors game, so just pop in and out.
Go ahead and say whatever you'd like, because I'm emailing Eric right now. My bad, Eric. You're on the stream, Eric. That was my bad. I screwed up the email completely.
I didn't quite hear what you were saying about the mid-range.
Oh, well, it kind of all stemmed from Jalen Brunson getting the 2 free throws on Pascal. And I was like, you got 2 free throws. It's the playoffs. You need to manufacture those points. So during the regular season, maybe the mid-range isn't as important, but once you hit the playoffs, it becomes a good weapon to have. So he was able to do that. So I'm sitting here thinking every team needs a guy that can get to the line, and it might be from the mid-range these days. And so that then dovetailed into Bruce saying, "Oh yeah, the mid-range." What I talk about every live stream, or what Bruce mentions every live stream when we play and we pass up mid-range for the 3.
Yeah.
Players tend to do that, and then Bloomer's like, "Yeah, Looney and Trace." And I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to do a poll and go, I'm watching Myles Turner. I get a chance to watch him every other day now. Looney, you can do what Myles Turner is doing. You can do that. Do it. Add a 3. What do you think?
I kind of like it when Looney's closer to the basket, really.
Oh, wow. Okay, we got to do a poll at this point.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you think Looney... of course people are going to say, yeah, Looney should add a 3. But he already said it on the podium. FYI.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with him shooting a 3 once in a while, but do I want him taking 4 threes a game? I don't know.
Yes.
You do? 5, 4, 5?
Okay, let's see. Do you think Looney should start shooting 3s at the clip of, say, a Myles Turner? And is Myles at 3 per game? Or what is he, a 4? Where's my BK ref? Oh, here it is. Myles. He is at... The last 5 games thing is really throwing me off, because I'm used to the old BK ref.
Yeah, this year it was 4.2.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
in
always
the playoffs.
4. Yeah.
In the playoffs, he's taken 6 a game this year. And he's shooting 40%. Has been shooting 40% for a while too.
Let's do the poll.
In the playoffs. I don't know if that's what we need from Looney, really, and I don't think TJD's much of a shooter. Just looking at the free throw percentages and things like that.
I'm basically what I'm saying is, Looney, you've got to evolve. So you better evolve now, because everybody else evolved last season. Klay did, Draymond did, mentally speaking, and I think Steph did as well in intangible ways. That's all I'm saying on the Looney thing.
No, I agree. I think, there's obviously something that we were doing where, although we won more games, we didn't keep pace with. I mean, it was all those clutch losses, really, too. I mean, these are all winnable games. But yeah, I think I would probably prefer Looney to be better at finishing around the hoop, not take the ball down when he catches it. I just think if you're a center, just keep it above your head. You know, I don't think anyone's going to really take it away from him up there. I would like, if I can throw another one out there, I would like to see Draymond like try and cross bigger players over.
Oh yeah,
he's a good ball handler. I never see him try and cross big guys, like do a shake and bake crossover on a taller player. I think he could do it though. You know, I wouldn't hardly ever see him lose the ball, and maybe that's why. But I think if you put a bigger guy on Draymond and he has to defend him as a ball handler, that would be really tough, you know.
Yep. That's part of the whole evolution thing. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Might help get the ball out of Steph's hands a little bit too, because I think we should just go full shooting guard for Curry, not combo guard, not point guard. I think it's too much for him to do that every game in the regular season and the playoffs.
Yep. I agree with that. Yep.
And we're making it too easy to double our best player. Like that should be painful, not something you want. And he's a little slower, so the hook passes, you know, the hook passes getting picked off a little bit more. The NBA is real used to it at this point too. You know, the tendencies and the timing of when it's going to happen. So I'd love to get Steph just playing shooting guard, off ball. You know, if he has the ball in his hands and he starts dribbling, like don't bring a defender over. You know what I mean? So I think that would help a lot. Draymond could play more of that point guard role. Klay could have the ball in his hands a little bit more. I liked his passing last year and the year before that. But I think just taking off that pressure on Curry constantly to dribble through double teams at 6'2", I think that would really help a lot. Personally.
All right, I got to cut you off. I know you can't see this, but Eric G is in the green room, so he's waiting for us.
Okay.
Get you back here, Dean, later on.
Yes,
but
sir.
For your insights, let's bring in Eric. Okay. Eric G in the house. All right, let's get rid of that comment. All right, good to have you. Eric G, everybody, of NBADraft.net. In fact, let's pull up the NBADraft.net website right there, just so people know. Check it out, guys. All right, what would you like to talk about, Eric? Because there's a lot we could talk about.
I would say I think it's updated now with the teams and stuff. So I know that on the one you just showed, the teams aren't updated. I know Aran has not put the in perspective team needs yet, so it should change in the next 48 hours or so. I would guess who's going to be at top of the draft. But I'm sure we want to talk about the Warriors, so I guess we can start there.
Absolutely, we can start anywhere. It's we're going to talk about the draft more than just today. That's for sure. So any insights you have is just awesome. Where do you want to
I'd say that today, if you're a true Warriors fan, okay, we know that the pick is in the low in the 50s, right? 52nd pick, I believe.
Yep.
Knowing that and seeing the history of the past, today there's a game at 1:40, and there's a game I think at like right after that. That's probably like 3:30 p.m. Whereas the G League Elite teams, there's probably going to be 2 or 3 guys from those games that will get drafted in the second round at some point. So if you're looking specifically for a Warriors type of player that might be available, today might be it's on YouTube TV. So it is on the G League subscription channel. You can find it. The game will be live. They played. There's 4 teams playing. They divided it. Most of them are seniors. Some of them are some early entrant players. They played yesterday and they'll play today. And they submitted their measurements today. Some of them we had the measurements because they also did the PIT. I should have all the measurements for them are up now, and actually, I will eventually send you, Rich, a spreadsheet of
Oh, cool.
measurements of every single player, wingspan, age, all that stuff. I'll send you that privately at some point.
And
when it's completed.
PIT is the Portsmouth Invitation.
Correct. So the best players from the Portsmouth Invitational got invited to the G League
Cool.
Elite Camp.
Oh,
And the best players from this will get invited to the actual draft combine. And so right now there's 77 players invited to the NBA draft combine. Some of the foreign kids aren't going to make it because they still are playing. So there's playoffs and stuff. So they won't make it. Netherlands, France, some of those upper players probably won't be there. And so they'll get a few players from this camp that perform the best, and they'll send them there to Chicago next week. They're already in Chicago, so they'll just wait a couple of days and start in Chicago.
Awesome.
So for Warriors fans, we could also look at kind of like the Warriors draft history with the second round. We know TJD was one of the guys that they targeted last year. We know that the way they were able to get him was probably a personal relationship, as his agent is Dunleavy's brother, but also more importantly, he promised them a spot on the roster. So the agent said to other teams, don't draft him earlier, because he could have probably got drafted earlier in the second round, but they were going to be two-way players instead of a player that was going to be on the roster for the season. It didn't mean that the Warriors promised him not that he wouldn't go down from time to time, but he was promised a roster spot. They may be able to do that again. That might be something they might consider and draft somebody that probably would be in the mid-30s to mid-40s instead of the 50s pick. They might be able to do that, as I said. But then if they're going that route, they're probably not going to go for somebody that needs a lot of development, but more somebody that's a little older and a little bit more ready, right? Like TJD was the case. That's the way I look at it. Or there's other situations. They drafted Guy Santos late as well, and we didn't see him with the Warriors play for a few seasons, and this year was pretty much his first year on the roster. In any case, I doubt that this pick is going to, in terms of value and asset, is going to be that valuable to get an upgrade for a veteran player. So I don't see that too much as an option. Now that they know that they only have one pick in the future that is compromised, or that has the pick when they traded Jordan Poole, where Washington has the pick in 2030. That's pick 20 to 30. So if they that pick they cannot trade around right now unless they remove the protection. I don't see why they would remove the protection at all, because if it's below 20, if they keep it. So.
All right. That's a pretty good rundown of current draft news, basically, as of, May 12th. Draft isn't until June 28th, 27th or 28th.
It's 2 days. I believe it's the 26th and 27th. It's a Wednesday, Thursday.
That's why we have you here. June 26th.
But let me double check on that. But or don't quote me on that. I know 27th for sure is the date. I don't know if it's day 1 or day 2, but it is right there. And cool. It's the first time they're doing first round one day, and then second round a second day. So there may be trades between days. There may be some movement for teams. Yeah, I think the NBA kind of realized that when Jokic got drafted in during a commercial that they didn't want to do that anymore, having a 3 times MVP that doesn't get his shine. So, and it's more content, so more content better these days.
Okay.
So they're making a 2-round deal, 2-day deal.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, cool. All right. So right now, if I go scroll down on 52, tell me if what you like. How does this work in the context of? Let me put up the screen. I'm just on NBADraft.net. So if you didn't know any better, you'd go to NBADraft.net and you just go, oh, I heard the Warriors have the 52nd pick. And then you look and you see, oh, who is this guy? But right now, today, that's kind of probably not the right way to look at it.
No, yeah, not right now. We're not kind of it's closer to that time where we're getting more information in terms of where players are going to be drafted. But right now, it's more, I would say, more like a big board type of view of like where Aran Smith sees who are the top 60 prospects.
Gotcha.
I would not take into account what teams are drafting where, like who specifically they're targeting yet. Me personally, like I said, I've talked to you offline before. It depends what perspective the team is going for, right? Is it going to be a Steve Kerr influenced pick? Are they looking for somebody to fill a hole as a role player right now? Or are they going to take the best player available that might take a little bit longer to develop? Again, when you're drafting in the 50s, it's hit or miss. It could be somebody that washes out, or it could be somebody that turns into an all-star. But the chances are, the lower you draft, the less likely it's going to be a great player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we'd be cool with just somebody who can fit into this roster right here. Like we're just looking at a simple hoops hype salary cap table. What do you think they'll go for? I mean, do you think someone can actually contribute on the next season's roster right away, a la Trace?
Well, and remember, Trace fit a specific need for the team.
Yeah.
And it took him half the year to really contribute. Like it took him a while.
Yeah.
And he was 23 years old, 22, 23 years old. So if you're looking down that route, you're looking more, and you look at who got invited to the NBA draft combine, then you're looking at those guys that are probably rated 50 to, so there's 77 guys that got drafted, that got invited to the combine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably not going to be anybody in the top 30. So if you're looking at a first rounder, it's highly unlikely. This draft is a little different because it is not a strong draft. So somebody that might think, some team might think some guy's the 20th best player, and another team might think he's the 40th best player. So there is some more variance.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to think that they're going to go, again, how much influence is it? Like, do we want to draft somebody that Kerr is going to play right away or not? And I don't know that answer at all, because we definitely, there's type of players or stylistic type of players that we know that Kerr likes ball movers, likes shooters, likes players that can pass and dribble and that think the game like a coach. He does like that. Like, I would give you an example of a guy that I think that Steve Kerr will like, that's a first rounder that won't go there. Tyler Kolek for Marquette. Point guard, a little bit taller, a little bit older. Passes the ball, shoots the ball. Not a great athlete. Kind of, to me, it's weak comp, but TJ McConnell type player. I feel like a TJ McConnell type of player is the type of player that Steve Kerr likes.
Mm-hmm. What do you? I would guess. Speaking of, would the Warriors pick a Steve Kerr system player? I almost think like, oh gosh, well, what would you say just in evaluating? Let's say you and I got to be, actually, let's say I was a fly on the wall in the postmortem room of the Warriors exit interview type deal. And let's say you were involved in it. Let's say you were an assistant coach or something. Like, how would you evaluate the type of guy that the Warriors would pick for the NBA draft? Because I'm gonna give you my input is that I think we learned some things this last year. Like, there's value in. First of all, I was going to say there's value in having youth, but why? Because the regular season, there's younger teams, more talented teams, faster teams, and the fact that the Warriors finished 10th is like, okay, you have got to create a roster that wins regular season games. Like, that becomes number one, rather than that will win. Versus picking between winning a regular season game and picking between that and like winning a playoff series. All of a sudden, winning a regular season game honestly becomes more important because you've got to get into the playoffs in the top 6 spot. And so that is like the first couple dominoes that fall for me. And then so you saw that this year you played some youth and it wasn't all that bad. Like, youth can actually contribute. Even Guy Santos contributed when he needed to step up during that time that he stepped up. So therefore, I'm thinking that let's get the combination of best player available and sort of combination of all the above. Best player available, athleticism, length, just like Mike Dunleavy said. They need length, they need defense, and shooting. Those were like the 3 things that he said in the exit interview. And granted, shooting, we can talk about that as well. Who are your favorite shooters? We'll talk about that. But like, what do you think? So I just kind of gave you my sort of just barf it on the table, what I think of this past season, what we learned, and how you would translate that to the 52nd pick.
Yeah, I do think that there is a lack of youth and length. However, when you're drafting youth and length, a lot of them can't shoot yet. In particular in this draft, of where the 50s are going to be, there is going to be some players that have length and maybe are a little bit more veteran. Maybe they're 21 years old instead of 19 years old. Maybe they played a couple seasons in college, or 3 or 4 seasons even in college, and are late bloomers. But the unknown is, at 50, you're not going to get both. You're not going to get somebody that can dribble and is long and can shoot. You're just not. So you're gambling that hopefully that the shooting is, there's indications that the shooting is going to improve. One thing that scouts tend to look at is their improvement in free throw shooting as they go through seasons. That's one indication that people look at a little bit. Oh, okay, he went from a 50% free throw shooter to a 75% free throw shooter by his senior year. That's something, and they're like, okay, so he'll probably get maybe he's a late bloomer and he'll get his shooting later on. But it's not always the case. An example of a guy that took a few years that's doing great in the playoffs right now, and I would say he's probably going to be above the level in terms of scoring than somebody in the 50s, was Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels was not a good shooter the first couple years in the NBA. And even now he's hit or miss, but he's offensive. He's good enough offensively now, and he makes a huge difference defensively. Imagine if the Warriors had somebody in Jaden McDaniels on defense. That would be very helpful. And that might be somebody, you can get a player that has that defensive tenacity, but you may not get at 50 in the 50s, but you may not be able to get a player that has the offensive potential that Jaden McDaniels has in the 50s.
Gotcha. That's great. A lot of cool nuggets there. Thanks for that. How they look at free throw shooting improvement. That's pretty cool. That's
one indication.
That's what?
I said that's one indication that they'll look at, is like, hey, has there been that improvement over time?
Gotcha. All right, let's honor some of the commenters. Okay, so there's a question on from Bloomer. He just wants to know what you think of Zach. How do you pronounce it? Zach Edey?
Edey?
Zach Edey. Yeah. What do you think?
He's a polarizing player. The question for him is he like a Bojan, where he's 7'4", nobody can really stop him in the post, but does he get burnt on the other side on defense? He's improved a lot in his 4 years in terms of defensively, in terms of moving his feet. He's always going to be a drop center. He's always going to have a little bit trouble on switches. That's not going to change. The question offensively, you didn't see a lot of him where he was the centerpiece in terms of passing. So if you give it to the post, usually in college you watched him and he would just drop down, score. They couldn't really, but in terms of passing it out or being a defensive hub at the free throw line extended, which he'll need to be in the NBA a bit, where can he be that good of a passer where the defense doesn't matter as much? He's probably tough. It would surprise me if he's a first rounder, but it's not impossible.
Cool. And then I guess Dean has a very niche question. I'm looking at it. He says, I'm looking at a secondary draft site to compare. They don't have Grant Nelson in their top 70.
Yeah.
What stood out to you?
So Grant Nelson is not isn't in the draft anymore. That part has not been updated yet.
Oh, I got you. Wow. I guess Dean's really doing his homework. Good on you, Dean. So he checked out probably your scouting stuff. Here's another question. I'll just throw it real quick here. Assist to turnover ratio. What's your thought on assist to turnover ratio? How much do GMs look at that? Is Dean's question.
I don't know if I can answer that question accurately because I personally don't talk to any general managers. Aran does, but I do not. I would tell you what I feel about assist to turnover ratio. Obviously, it's more important for point guards. Mm-hmm. We always look for 2 to 1 or 1.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio personally. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have any assists, that's a big indication too. For example, somebody that has a low assist number, even if they're a shooter and a wing, probably isn't going to fit very well with Steve Kerr. So a system matters.
Gotcha.
I'll give an example of a player last year's draft that the Warriors did not pick that didn't have high assist, and that was Cam Whitmore. Mm-hmm. And they passed on him, and he got drafted the pick after Brandon Pods. Mm-hmm. So that, yes, teams look at that. It depends on. Also, they'll look at in terms of not only assist to turnover, but assist to turnover is the turnovers higher than their assist number. For big men, 1-to-1's probably pretty good. If they're turning it over a lot, there's going to be some question marks. Can they is he a primary? Can they even run the offense through them? Now, there's some scouts out there that think that Donovan Clingan is a good passer. And I'm not quite so sure because his assist numbers are so low. It's like 2.5 to 1. Mm-hmm. But they do one of the reasons Clingan's is considered a top 10 pick is because of his defense, and he's a huge human being. You guys probably saw him in the finals in the NCAA tournament against Edey. He has some feistiness to him, but he moves pretty well. The other reason that some scouts and some other people like him a lot is because they think he can be a potential hub in terms of being able to pass the ball as well. I'm not so optimistic, but I have to admit that train of thought is out there some. The reason I'm not quite so optimistic, he only has 2.5 assists per game Granted, he only plays 20 minutes, but I don't know if you can tell either way.
Okay, awesome. And one more very niche question was Dean. Turns out I had to read the comment, but what can you tell us of this is Dean's request, Keshad Johnson?
Keshad Johnson from Arizona.
Yeah, what do you think for Dean?
And born in Oakland. I know it is because he's a Bay kid. So I have a difference of opinion with him than Aaron, who's our draft guy, who makes the draft board. I think Keshad Johnson has a little bit of JTA in him.
Okay.
But that's my opinion. He doesn't quite see that that ability as playing small forward, and that he's just more of a true four. I think he's just a forward that can move a little bit more. He's a good athlete. His hips are a little tight. He's played mainly in the post, and people might know him more from 2 seasons ago because he was in the Final Four with San Diego State. Even he transferred to Arizona this year. One of their featured players. But yeah, that personally, my comparison is JTA.
Cool.
But like I said, I get a lot of brushback for that one from Aaron. So he does not agree at all with that. But
I love it.
He's probably 40 to getting undrafted. So he's invited to the combine, so he's considered a top 77 player as of right now. Now things are fluid. Doesn't just because he's a top 77 player right now doesn't mean that he will be, or maybe he can play himself up as well. He's got to prove in these combine that he can shoot a little bit and that he can be a little bit more of a wing than just a small four. If he's a small four, it's going to be tougher for him to get drafted.
I have a question for you. Why is the combine top 77?
There were 78. There were 78 players that got invited. They really want to have 60, right? Because it's their first and second round. So how it worked out is they gave a list of players. Each team gave a list, I think, of 60 players. And the ones that got the most votes got invited to the regular combine. The ones that got some votes got into the G League combine.
Okay.
So 44 of those. So but it's fluid. There's going to be some guys from the G League combine that is happening right now that are gonna be moved up to this combine. There's going to be some guys like Kalkbrenner. He's going back to school. So some of these guys are going to go back to school because they didn't get a promise. They didn't get the guarantee that they'd be a first rounder, or maybe didn't get the guarantee that they're going to be a second rounder. Some of these guys aren't coming. So like Jalen Wells, there's a kid from Washington State, the SAC kid. He took Kalkbrenner's position. So he's actually number 78 right now ranked. And he's a guy like I personally find interesting for the Warriors at 6'8". I actually, both Washington State guys I like for the Warriors like in the 50s if they had availability, but I don't know if Jalen Wells if he would stay in the draft if he didn't have a guarantee or not. I don't know either way. I don't speak to his agent at all or his people at all, so I have no insight on that. I just like the way he plays. He's a young guy. He was in Division II 2 years ago, and then he was a starter for Washington State, who I think made the Sweet 16 this year. He's younger. He's longer. He's a little bit of a project. He's one of those defensive wings that has potential as a shooter.
Yep. You mentioned him to me. Yep. And I looked at
Yeah.
some highlights on YouTube, and it was like, oh, cool, man. Like
So
what I
that's one of the guys. Ryan Dunn is another wing guy that you were talking about that may be available. He's a little bit older. He went to Virginia. A lot of the Virginia kids play very good defense. He's longer. He's an athlete. He could be a first rounder. He could be a second rounder. He hasn't shown any offensive. He's shown offensive potential, but he hasn't shown any scoring ability as of yet.
Mhm.
I don't think he averages that many points even.
Who was the so Wells and who else from Washington State
Let me
to look at?
get it.
Oh, no
quick.
worries.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, don't worry.
Isaac Jones. Isaac Jones of Washington State. All right, so he was at the PIT,
Uh-huh.
and then and he got an invite to the G League Combine. Just to give you his measurements, so he's not that. He's a power forward / center. He's a little short for his center, but he's almost 24 years of age, so he's a little older. He's 6'8", has a 7'3" 5" wingspan, 9 foot standing reach.
Yeah.
And a pretty good athlete. Like his no max vert is almost 31 inches, and he moves well in terms of his lateral. And he could play for the Warriors. He could play small ball 5 for the Warriors. He could.
Cool. Okay.
So that's one guy, Isaac Jones.
Oh. Yeah. Great. Thanks. Yeah. I'm so impressed how, you have arguments with Aran Smith, the founder of NBA Draft.net, which was conceived in what year?
2000.
2000. Good Lord. It's almost a quarter century of work that Aaron's been doing. That's just nuts. That's why, to me, it's like a no-brainer. You guys are number one for me, especially that 1 year when I just copied your lottery picks in the beat writer gathering by the Warriors. And you guys won me some headphones, some JBL headphones that I sent to a Dub Nation fan. So I always love NBADraft.net just for the fact that you got headphones for me and then I gave it to somebody in Dub Nation. I think it was Rebecca. Everybody in our following knows Rebecca. But anyways, yeah, I have tremendous respect for you guys arguing about Keshad Johnson. It's just like, that's awesome to me. But Dean Chambers, yeah, go ahead, Eric.
We debate about players all the time. I debate with alumni of NBADraft.net that have gone to other places all the time about stuff like that. We share information. It's fun. It's fun to have these debates. And if, to be fair, like there hasn't been a draft site yet that has been 100% accurate in their evaluations. There hasn't been a team yet, if you look at the Warriors or any other pro team, that is 100% right. It is an inexact science that's getting a little bit better every year, both with analytical numbers and also with visibility. I remember before YouTube or before Synergy, you had to go watch YouTube videos, or you had to have teams from overseas send you like a CDs so you could watch the players, and it mainly was highlights. So it's much better than it was, but it's still an inexact science. Yeah,
and when you say CDs, I think you literally mean CDs, like no DVDs. Like I think it was the video CD, VCDs is what you got.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it's changed, but that's what I always loved about what you guys do, is that it's less based on like, correct me if I'm wrong though, it's less based on like your inside knowledge of who a GM is going to pick. There's like a real sense of scouting involved. Like it's heavy on actual scouting.
I would say that like the closer you get to the draft, the more influence we get from other sources other than scouting. But early on, when we're going through until now, April, until you have the picks, until the combine, it's pretty much our own scouting going on. And of course, we're going to look at through sources, hey, what players look intriguing? But it's really, Aran really is independent of outside influence in terms of his mock until it gets closer to the draft.
Cool. Man.
And that's why we watch. I personally, what I do most of the time, I go to EYBL. I watch youth European teams. I watch FIBA teams. So it's more exciting for us. We're one of the first sites that puts up the next year's mock. Like, well, we have a 2025. We'll have a 2026 probably before anybody else, and that's what. And then people build off our site, which is fine. It's always better to improve and get better at it. But that's one of the fun things, and that's what I would say that we have definitely do a good job at compared to everybody else, is that we tend to be a little bit better with the, hey, these are the guys you should look at for 2026.
Absolutely. I'm so with you on that. I've always been sort of I like to, self-effacing like humor is just like, I've never been a good marketer. So like, but there's an authentic quality to that as well, that you just have to know once you're in the game. Like, so once you're in the game, you just know they'll eventually, NBAdraft.net will eventually cross your path if you're that deep into it. So I just always trust, just do you. So you guys keep going, man. I don't know how you guys do it, but keep going. And most people don't know how I do it, to keep going with the kind of whatever that we do here on Let's Go Warriors. And it does change every now and then. And I also try to find ways to improve every year, little by little, but it's hard. And I think you guys have been great, are doing great, and just keep at it, because whoever finds you is whoever finds you. And it's pretty fun to go about your business in that way. And best to you guys.
And I love talking to you. I love talking to you because I'm passionate about the Warriors.
Exactly, which we will talk about real quick. But go ahead and say what you had to say, because Dean Chambers has a general draft question that I didn't want to ignore. But go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we go offline all the time talking about the Warriors and what we can do. Now, in terms of drafting, it has no influence on how we see things for teams and stuff like that. And I know that, like I said, I don't have any influence on the mock other than the conversations I have with Aran and the debates we have and the information that we share. But the more information he gets, the better, right?
Really, I think it's really just the passion that shines through. It doesn't matter how many GMs you know, even though Aran probably knows a whole lot after 24, 25 years. Actually, 2000, you got to do the math correctly. You got to include the 0. So that's 25 years. You guys, had you actually, and it's like, what I love about you guys that's like similar to me is like, honestly, you guys will never get bought out, right? It's just like, we're not meant to get bought out. Like, we don't want you to like take what we've done and then rebrand it as your, whatever new name brand. It's like, nah, man, we just want to keep doing what we've been doing. So that's what I love about you guys, because it just really speaks to what Let's Go Warriors is. So it's really, that part's really cool. So I love how we found each other, and like, even though sometimes I might not agree with what you're saying, or I might have a different view of it, but it's like, I always respect your point of view on it. It's like, I got to take that into account. Like, anytime you tell me something, at first I might be like, nah, but then, seconds later, I'm like, you know what? I have to take into account what Eric is saying, because he sees the NBA from a totally legit perspective. Like, you have to pay attention to that. Like, just like Joe Lacob probably wants guys that disagree with each other in the war room. Like, I think a lot of Warriors fans don't understand that there is a lot of disagreement behind closed doors and a lot of contention, which quite honestly, the death of Becky kind of revealed when Steve Kerr went on the podium and said that they have arguments and Becky will kind of put humor into everything. So I'm so grateful to have you with us on that. So anyways, let's get to Dean Chambers' draft question. He wants to know, do you think that the NBA not redistributing those picks when teams tamper in the late second round, do you think that they should come up with something better for that, or just have, like, I think this year only 58 picks because 2 teams tampered?
Correct. Only 58 picks.
Yeah. What do you think on all that?
I mean, it does it really matter? Like, when you think about it, they're trying to punish the 2 teams. Those 2 teams don't get a guaranteed rights to 2 players, so they have to go on the open market and they have to compete on salaries, on intangibles, and try to woo these guys to go to their team for 2-way contracts. Because really, what you're looking at is 2-way contract level players at that point. So I don't see it as, because the contracts aren't guaranteed. Yes, there's a prestige of getting drafted in the second round. I don't really see it as harming the athletes too much. I see it more because the agents are able to negotiate and allow those players to go to the places they want to, instead of a team owning their rights.
Cool.
That's just my opinion. I'm looking at it from a player's perspective, and maybe it's cool to say, hey, I got drafted. No matter what, like, even if you never play in the NBA, to have that ability to say, I was drafted in the second round, and two players won't be able to have that. But maybe there's better set up to go to a team, any team they want, that the agent sees a better fit for. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah. And then some, as always. I want to get to, like, this is the final question, and we'll let you go because, I mean, it's Mother's Day, and I know you got some plans and stuff, and so do I. But I'll stick around to the end of the New York game, which is, by the way, still a blowout. It's a 40-point game. Pacers are up, so we're not missing anything. That's pretty cool. What would you do here in the offseason with the Warriors? Go through step by step. One thing I figured out, and you're probably like, duh, is like, Gary Payton is the first domino. He's got to either opt in or out, and him doing either one might clue us into something. And then after that, you have the Chris Paul. Actually, no, after that is the Looney option. I mean, the Looney guarantee date, right? And then after that, so Chris Paul really is like the third domino, believe it or not. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. So what do you think about the Warriors? What would you do?
I mean, I think the first thing you need to know is Klay coming back?
Oh yeah,
and at what salary?
Yeah,
and because I think that's going to determine everything else for them.
Yep, absolutely.
Like, do they need to find a replacement for Klay? What's the salary he brings in? Can you keep Chris Paul? Can you keep Looney at that rate? Depending on how much Klay wants. If Klay isn't there and there isn't anybody to really be able to acquire, then is it possible that Chris Paul stays at that salary? I don't know. I just we've had offline what I would maximum pay Klay. I would say.
Yeah. What was that again?
I'm in line with 24 to 25 million per year for 2 to 3 years. I'm in line with that. That for me, I'm not a salary cap. like I don't know his background medically. I know there's things that Klay does that are really good. He's one of the top guards in terms of gravitation. So meaning he pulls guys away from the paint. Still last season, he's one of the best 3-point shooters still last season. But if you look at defensive rating, he was one of the worst Warriors defensive rating, period. That's just a fact.
And let's remind everybody that Klay 2019 was your how did you say that? Klay is your favorite Warrior ever as of you know 2019 Klay basically.
Yes.
So
Chris Mullin was, and then now Klay is my favorite.
Yeah.
So I'm a lefty, so that I grew up in that San Francisco, so I had to be a Chris Mullin guy.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know what Klay's gonna. I think it is possible that he gets 3 years, $90 million. It is possible he gets 2 years, $60 million. It is entirely possible. I think there's a limit that because of what the Warriors are going to have to eventually pay Moody, Kuminga, and also get under the cap if they can, so they don't have to pay the large taxes. If they can get off the cap for 1 year, then it resets it all for the following year. So that's a huge difference too. But I'm not like I'm a fan, like just like everybody else in this situation. I'm not privy of any more information than any of you in terms of that. But yeah, I can't tell you what to do with everybody else until I know what's going on. They'll know, I would guess, by draft day, or have a good sense is what's going to take, how much it's going to take. Are they going to pay it? I think that's going to be known, and then
like that should know
determines Chris Paul.
Right, they should know. I think they should know even by Gary Payton's option date, which is June 19th. Don't you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they know about Gary Payton. Gary Payton's going to take the option. Nobody's going to pay him $9 million a year.
Yeah,
it's a player option.
He said in the exit interview that he wanted to redo. That was his words. He wanted to redo.
Oh, he said there's been talk about him restructuring it like an NFL contract where it's over a few seasons instead of just one season. But that would mean that instead of going $9 million for 1 year, 2 for 6, for an example, he's not going to take less money, and it's going to have to be more than a minimum contract total, right? So the minimum's like 2.7. So it's going to have to be over $12 million a year for 2.
What if you just divided 9.130 by 3 and gave him the 3rd-year option? Do you think that would do it? It's pretty minimish.
Why would he? But why would he do that? He hasn't made a lot of money in his career. Why would he? If he can
guarantee him $9 million, but over 3 years, that would really.
But what I'm saying is that year 2 and year 3, he's probably going to get minimum level contracts by any NBA team, right? Minimum vet. So he'll make 9. If he doesn't do that, he makes 9, 2.7, 2.7. Unless you don't think he's going to be an NBA player after next year.
No,
I'm saying any team would want him as a minimum player. Right. So it has to be higher than for him to be incentivized to do this. It's going to be have to be total more than the vet minimum for the following 2 seasons.
Gotcha. Hold on real quick. Okay. Okay, how about if Klay comes back as a Warrior for, like you said, 24-ish, 25? I just said, why not just give him the same as Draymond Green, right? What could be more fair than that, right? Like, then you're kind of saying, okay, we value you just like Draymond, even though, like, wouldn't you say that Draymond is more important to this system, if you will, than, I mean, Draymond is less replaceable in this current, system than Klay is, or maybe not. I mean, what do you think? I tend to think,
I
yeah.
think.
So just give him the same contract. Who could say
Well,
no?
I think he might, but if he's getting 30, he might. I don't know the way he's thinking, but
He's getting
I
30.
think to go with the whole who's more important
Yeah,
for Steph, Draymond's more important than Klay.
gotcha.
The way he plays on offense, the way he helps him out on defense, it helps more because I think Klay's more. We talked about the gravity and how he takes players out of the paint. Steph, as he ages, is probably going to go less into the hole and more be an outside. It's not going to affect him quite as much as Draymond giving screens and helping with backdoor passes, or I think Draymond is more helpful for Steph. And if the Warriors right now, clearly Steph is their best player by far, and you're building the team around Steph, then yes, at this point of their career, I'm not saying it always was like this, Draymond's more important than Klay. My opinion.
All right, so let's try and just imagine the first domino falls, which is behind closed doors. You kind of know if Klay is going to be on the Warriors or not for the offseason. Let's say he is on the Warriors. Then what, in broad strokes, if you want, feel free to go as deep as you want. It's your time, really.
Okay.
Like, what would you do if we kept Klay? What else?
Can I does Lacob want to stay in the tax or not? Does Lacob want to be a second apron team or not? That's a question I can't answer. If I could trade Chris Paul's contract to a team that doesn't want to be in the second apron, that wants to shed a contract of a superstar, then that might be something that I would take a look at. Obviously, there would have to be also a lot of picks involved for that to happen, but that would be something I would look into. I can't answer that question as that's a GM owner. Like, how much taxes do you want to pay? How much do you want to mortgage the future type of situation? Most likely, I would say that you just let Chris Paul. You don't renew the contract. You let him go. You say thank you. I think he was, as much as like some people didn't like the fit, I think he helped the development of all those young players more than any other Warrior on the team. I think he helped TJDs. I think Jonathan Kuminga got a lot better this year. I think Pod's got a lot better. And I think if you look at the history of Chris Paul and every stop he's been at, whether it was OKC with SGA, whether it was Phoenix with Bridges and Cam Johnson, he's always been able to make those young players better. So I think he was a tremendous Warrior, even if it was a wash season. And I think he taught Draymond a little bit of how you go about and talk to these young guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome insight. Appreciate that. All right, so I guess the elephant in the room is, all right then, well, and the way that I've looked at this is, I don't know that a GM has ever sort of like run it back, because if Klay comes back, then you kind of have the same squad now. So I just don't think that they would trade Kuminga. I got a little boost from Ramona Shelburne the other day or yesterday. She went somewhere and said that she doesn't think, she has way more sources than I do, but she doesn't think the Warriors are looking to trade Kuminga. And I look at it just sort of like, kind of like, he's going to get at least 20 something million out here to replace this, right? Because he's performed at a high level, 7th pick, and I think on the open market probably worth a lot. So
I heard reports of like the $24 million range for 5 years.
Yeah, that's
per year, 24 per year.
Yeah. So he could improve that too, but like I kind of think that you kind of want that to be 24 million, then you can really do something with that, contract. You could trade it for something at that level back if you needed to, and things of that nature, which is why you would want to keep home growing Kuminga as well as Moody. But then, Kuminga's just at a different level, in my opinion. So that's kind of one narrative out there. And then also Wiggins is the other thing. So overall, I kind of go, well, if I'm thinking that Kuminga's probably going to stay just because you want kind of him to pop, I kind of liken this to like a startup company. Like you're a venture capitalist, you have these shares in a startup company. You're not going to privately sell your shares to somebody else in Silicon Valley before the IPO. Like the lottery pick getting his extension is kind of like the IPO moment, if you want to make an analogy to Silicon Valley. So you want to keep that one. So assuming that, then you have this roster that's almost like, oh, well, other than CP3 maybe walking, then we're kind of running this back. And I don't know that I've seen a GM that runs it back unless you want a championship. What do you think?
Let's talk about tradable assets. Like,
yeah,
players that teams might actually want for various reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Kuminga's one of them, obviously, right? But we already talked about Kuminga, so let's leave that one alone. Let's say the Warriors are okay with paying the tax and staying where they are. Kevon Looney is a tradable asset because not all of his contract's guaranteed. So a team that does want to go under the luxury, that trades you an $8 million player for Kevon Looney, and they I think it's only guaranteed for $3 million. They say $5 million, that gets them under the cap. That could be a tradable asset. Now, will it be a huge tradable asset? Probably not. You probably get that. That could be a draft deal where you move up in the draft, where you're taking that $8 million contract, you're giving the 52nd pick, and you're getting the beginning of second round, a late first round pick, and a player in return. Again, without knowing where they are in terms of financials and how far below the luxury tax and the second apron, it's hard to discuss. But it is an option out there where there may be, we know there are going to be a few teams that don't want to be under the second apron, and that maybe that $5 million gap is such a big deal that they might want, in a draft that's not considered a great draft, that might be a possibility.
Yeah. And then, yeah, we've had the discussion of how, man, the Wiggins situation is difficult. It's so difficult because he does play great defense. So you've got that. He is, like Bruce loves to say on our live streams, he is very mercurial. You never know which Wiggins you're going to get to show up to a game. And so this is like, I look at this 26 million contract guaranteed for Wiggins is like a depressed asset, if you will. So it's hard to trade that, right? So that's kind of the problem with the Wiggins kind of elephant in the room. He's still an elephant in the room, but like, what can you do? But I go back to, and you can feel free to cut this up or whatever. I just feel like if you're not running back a very similar roster to last season in terms of the top, say 9 players, and I consider Chris Paul walking as kind of running it back. Obviously, Klay comes back in this scenario. So I just feel like, well, if there has to be a fall guy, it's going to be Wiggs. They'll actually, Lacob loves to say, does this move make us better? And maybe they make a move that defies that for once. I don't know, but it just mathematically, that's a problem to me. Like, I just don't see a lot of these guys, like everybody coming back. What do you think on that? I just think Wiggins is going to get traded. I don't know.
It's just okay. The Wiggins thing
will work, but yeah.
So right now the Warriors have, and we discussed this a little bit off. There's 2 Warriors really that can guard anybody at the point of attack.
Yep.
And that's Gary Payton II and Andrew Wiggins. That's the list. There's two.
Yep.
You can argue that Kuminga can do it at times, but he still makes mistakes, and he's probably better not guarding the point guard, not guarding the two guard. He can guard slower, bigger guards. Like he's done his share of guarding Luka, but he's also gets caught up at times going for fakes and stuff like that. If you get rid of Wiggins, and we know GP2 can only play limited in minutes because of how he plays and his age and everything like that, who's guarding the best offensive guard on the opposing team?
Mhm.
That's where it starts an issue. And then the other issue is he doesn't have tremendous value for other teams. What are you getting in return that's better?
I know.
So, and when I say better, it's obviously not going to be better for the past team, but that's better for the Warriors.
Yep.
So,
Yep. All right.
I think if you run it back, the two biggest players that need to improve the most, that you're relying your entire season on, and I guess three, would be Podminski, Kuminga, and Moody. How do they develop? If you're running back the team that as is, none of the other guys are what they are. They might be healthier, they might be less healthy, they might play more games, but those are the three guys. But Pods, we've had discussions. He's a very good defender on the help side. He's a very good defender on switches in the post. He's a bad point of attack defender. He just doesn't move his feet that well. I think he can get better because it's nuanced in terms of getting around screens and stuff. But he's going to have a hard time guarding the best guards in the NBA. If that's the change, if you're thinking now Wiggins is gone and that's the option, it's going to be Pods that's going to be guarding the Paul Georges, the Paul Georges, the Lucas, he just doesn't have as good of a defensive metrics that he does have. The point of attack is where he's not as good. He's good more on help side. He's good on he doesn't block shots, but he's a menace on the block because teams know he's going to take a charge. So who is it? Is it Moody? Maybe, but Moody also is more. He's more length than foot speed as well. And we've already discussed Kuminga. So the point of attack will be an issue. And for Pods offensively, we discussed a little bit offline that I thought that towards the end of the season, he got his shot off a little bit quicker, which is key. He needs to be able to be comfortable on his quicker release, so he'll shoot at the outside shot. I'm not that big of a fan of him driving and taking his half hooks or jump stopping and pivoting and usually missing it in the hole because he was able to do it in college because I think he was a little bit bigger than most guys because he's a well-built player, but he wasn't able to create the space in the NBA that he has. What I would do is I would work on footwork in the post as much as you can and look at as much Jalen Brunson film as you can. And if you can get something out of it so he can be a little bit better around the rim, that would be helpful as well. I don't know if that's ever going to develop just because of the type of player he is, but I do know that it looked like that his shooting in terms of quick release looked like it improved as the season went along.
Gotcha. Okay. We do have another question and then we'll let you go, but just to honor the commenters here, just a general draft question. It looks like, do you think Atlanta would, with Atlanta getting, I guess maybe Jasmine has some Atlanta connections, with Atlanta getting the first pick, do you think they would be willing to trade Sadiq Bey? All right. go ahead and take that one for her.
Is it for the Warriors?
No, I don't think it's a Warriors question. It's
Okay.
just a general draft question. Is I think would Atlanta trade the first pick? Really?
Could we go to Atlanta's
Mm-hmm.
hoops side?
Atlanta salary cap table.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause I'm wondering if he's a free agent.
Sadiq has a what's green again? Qualifying.
Qualifying offer. So he is a restricted free agent.
Yep.
So, yes, it's possible that he gets traded, but it's probably going to be on whoever signs him on a restricted contract deal.
Mm-hmm.
So my guess is that the Warriors aren't that interested in him because they could have had him, right? He was part of that Detroit, Portland, Atlanta Warriors trade with Wiseman.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's from a Warriors perspective, I don't think the Warriors have that much in. They could have had him at some point. And it's probably going to cost them too much money because I would guess that he would get close more than the 6.4 million is going to be offered. It'd probably be in the 10 to 20 range or 9 to 20 range in terms of salaries per season.
Okay. All right. We're gonna let you go, but I thought Bruce
Appreciate it.
One last thing. Bruce said Bruce goes, I have a feeling the team will be a lot different next year. What's your feeling before you go? Will it be a lot different?
All depends on it'll be a lot different if Klay's gone.
Yeah.
I think
we really
it'll be
have
a
no
lot
choice but to wait until the Klay first domino drops.
and maybe they already made the decision.
Yep, you never know.
The NBA is changing a lot, right? We've talked about how Minnesota has something going on with the second apron coming up. There's rumors of the Pelicans doing some things. There's rumors of OKC now not starting Josh Giddey. There's teams. There's going to be movement of these type of players where maybe the Jalen Brunsons that was at Dallas that now is with the Knicks. There's opportunities for those players that played a couple years in the league and that you gamble on, and maybe they become into stars in a different environment. There's going to be those opportunities out there. I don't know if the Warriors can maximize on those opportunities because of how their salary cap is structured and stuff. But I do think overall there's going to be a lot of movement across the NBA because of A, the second apron looming, and B, some teams changing the guard kind of happening, the changing of the rules kind of happening where certain players aren't valued as much as they were pre-All-Star break.
Cool, man. Thanks for all your insights, man. And happy Mother's Day out there.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Everybody check out Eric and NBADraft.net. You are at Guilleminault, right? Let me spell that. How do you pronounce that?
Guilleminault or Guilleminault. So I always have insight on the French guys because I am French, so that helps a little bit.
Is that right there on the screen?
I believe so, yeah.
So everybody check that out. It's in the comments. And awesome, man. Eric G, thanks for basically donating your time to come on here and talk about what you're passionate about, which is the draft and the Warriors, which is a great.
And maybe we'll do it again before the draft.
Yeah. Let me know what your schedule's like, because I know like during the draft, forget it, right?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't during the draft.
Yeah. Bruce
All
says,
right.
Au revoir. Love it.
Au revoir.
And he speaks French. That's crazy, dude. All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
Take care, Eric G, everybody. NBADraft.net. Hey, Dean, you can come on now. And we actually took the entire half because the Knicks got crushed. They get crushed by 32 points. I did my math right because I added 21 plus 11 rather than actually try to visualize the math there on this, my bad, this box score right here. But we got Denver and Minnesota at 5. I've got to go see my mom, so we've got to call it a night. So my bad, Dean. Actually, never mind. Just get you on some other time. Next live, I was thinking next live would be Wednesday for what? Can you guess? Can you guess what I'm going to say? What would I do on Wednesday? Next live Wednesday. It's, by the way, it's in the description. How about 5 p.m.? How about Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut? Then also some Cavs Celtics and probably the remainder of Mavs OKC. I mean, how could you not want to watch Caitlin Clark pop a bunch of threes? How could you not want that? That's like, that's why you watch. Like, she's going to make a couple amazing threes. Why wouldn't you want to tune? That's why you tune in for Steph. And it's like, it's a no-brainer in my opinion. So we're going to come back Wednesday for Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut. And that is all, man. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. And let's do the Just Us. Thank you, Eric G, for some awesome insights. I think we're, as far as the Warriors are concerned, we're just stuck. We don't know what Klay's going to decide. And until he decides, then we can think about other stuff, and we can speculate all you want. And you might be wasting your energy if you spend too much time saying, what if? Why don't we just let things play out? Just like I always try to say, there's some beauty out there in not having to predict the future, like to let it come to you. And I think that'll be fun for us to just see what happens, and whatever happens, happens. And you just enjoy the process. So here is the Just Us. Oh, yeah. Know the women's name. Yeah. All right, everybody. And Brate. R.I.P. Decky. But thanks, everybody. And new name for the WNBA team probably on Tuesday, according to Tim Kawakami. And so that'll be exciting. And yeah, and then Wednesday, go right into Caitlin Clark's first game. Perfect. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Eric G. Thanks, Dean Chambers, and everybody in the comments. We will see you Wednesday, 5 o'clock. Oh, let me end this poll. My fault. What was the poll? And Dean, can you join us? If you can comment real quick. 52 votes. Looks like Looney needs to add a 3-ball. Let's put that in the notes, which I'm going to transfer to the comments right after this live stream ends. All right, again, next live, Wednesday. See you then. Love you all. And I'll hit you up, Dean. Maybe you can join us.